hello. Our lovely host tonight is going to tell us exactly why we're down a member.
To compensate, we have a guest.
I design maps for the future, not for degenerate 12-year-olds.
Yeah, deep fake of people you know into porn.
You shouldn't deepfake people into porn.
Stuff that would make you want to claw your eyes out and rip your ears off. I'm Canadian and I hate Canada. Like, what do you think I think of China?
To the moon. My 3 garlic's going to make me a billionaire. Hey, lonely guys are looking at a mirror for 20 hours a day. You're kind of sad.
Oh, you're a little dolly, but you think you're a man.
No.
You know, Snow isn't here because he said he's gonna take a nap, he's tired, and I should wake him up, call him, or scream at him. I did
because
both.
He's a child and he can't keep to commitments, right?
Yeah,
that's why he's getting nowhere in life, all right? That's all I'm saying.
Look, maybe he's tired. Like, who knows what's the reason is? Well, but yeah, you know, he's not here and he couldn't wake up. So, but however, to compensate, we have a new guest called CRiMSOM. He's the creator.
We have a special guest, yes.
Yes,
hello.
He's the creator of this very world we're in right now. It's called King CRiMSOM. I said it right? Yeah, okay.
yeah, you got it.
It's the next pug or black cat, but not full. Wait, is it Quest compatible?
No, hell no.
Okay, so not for kids.
No, I design maps for the future, not for degenerate 12-year-olds.
Hello. You should favorite the world now. Also, like and subscribe to the YouTube video. That really helps us, even though it doesn't seem like. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to do that again. God damn.
I've also been Frosty's friend for quite a while now, so that's the reason I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and let's just get into it. The first topic is deep fake of people you know into porn.
Oh boy.
Now, is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? Frosty, stop it off.
Why me?
You know, all the load on you.
You take the lead on this one.
It's a bad thing. You shouldn't deepfake people into porn.
No.
Yeah, that's it.
Deep.
Is that your official take on it?
That's my official government take on it, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Now the non-official take of your friends and other people's family.
The non-official take. It's kind of cringe to deepfake other people into porn. Just make fake women that have never existed. Right? That's what Stable Diffusion is good at. All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I'll save it for later. What about you, CRiMSOM? Do you want to deepfake?
I'd have to agree. Like, I mean, no, I have to agree. Like, I think like the future is going in some scary places with AI.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether we're going to be in the Wild West or some sort of like CCP-esque, totalitarian style government in the future. I'm hoping we have a lot of freedom and liberty. I'm hoping it's not like some sort of state-run government, but there is some like oversight that probably has to like come into play eventually, especially with like advanced technology and stuff. As we get like crazy stuff starts happening, AI. I still think AI will destroy the internet at some point in time. There'll be some virus that then all of a sudden we'll be back. Everyone will be landing in their friend's basement again. I think that's literally going to happen. Like I'm pretty confident in that. But I think like ethically you should not deepfake your friends into porn or famous people. I think like ethically you shouldn't. I don't know whether it should be made legal or illegal.
Yeah.
But personally, I probably wouldn't make it illegal. I would just have like if you're just distributing or something like that, I think that would be very bad. But I think like it should be if you're like selling the image of someone on the internet, and it's kind of hard because like then you're like, well, do I own my image? What if there's like a million me's in a million years from now when some genetic anomaly happens where I am that is identical to someone in the old days? Like, do I not own my own image or whatever? Like, so I think you can't really like police it too much, but like I think like there are moral implications for doing it. Like it's just not a great thing to do. Like it's just not advised.
Yeah. I mean,
You think deepfaking people and then distributing said deepfake porn of people, or even just deepfake images of people, you think that could fall into like defamation? Because I feel like it could fall into defamation, right? Suddenly it's
I feel like-
damage to their image.
Well, here let's look at it this way. Let's say you deep fake like someone into like a bank robbery or someone into a very like compromising video like, and then all of a sudden you distributed it to like to corrupt their political campaign or something. That's like. See now you're dealing with that level of like there's lots of layers to the onion. Oh yeah, they've already got like the Putin voices and the Biden, voices and stuff. And governments, if they're not ethical, could really do a lot of damage in the future. That's why you need ethical and accountable governments and oversight and all this stuff. So hopefully, some of these like less desirable countries, or these not desirable, but some of these countries that have like I mean, America has its share of issues. Its adversaries have their share of issues. But at the end of the day, you need some sort of common morality or some sort of common, code of ethic where they're not just like going crazy. So it's hard.
Just for the record, right? America's adversaries, my personal opinion, right, to keep me safe, America's adversaries are fine. They're okay.
Yeah. The CCP government will not will not be disappearing anyone today.
You're good.
China, we
Yep. Okay.
But
Look. Okay. How about this? If China funds us, right, then maybe we'll just sell out.
no, look.
If China funds you, Frosty, I don't think I can be on the stream anymore. I don't think I hate America.
No.
If China funds Tencent.
10 cents.
Big Mandarin, right? I can sell the metaverse to your people so they can work even harder.
I'm Canadian and I hate Canada. Like, what do you think I think of China?
Look.
That's
If Tencent or any Chinese like China funds this show, I'll accept it and I'll follow all the rules. I'll just sacrifice this channel and use all the money to a new channel. You didn't hear that.
Oh, you'll do it. You'd have a bit of a fork, a bit of mailing, yeah.
But yeah, it's. I mean, I don't think it would be illegal.
Okay.
They can make it illegal, like making deepfake porn of people, but that's not gonna stop it. But however, is it ethical? Of course not. But people have desires and secret desires. They just do it. The only issue is if they got found out.
what are the what?
Yeah.
Sorry, freak.
No, that's it. Yeah.
What does China do though? Because China's a totalitarian or like a heavy governed country. Let's put it that way. Does China, if you're like deep faking porn in China, would they like knock at your door and
most
and
likely?
put you in
if
some
it's
sort of re-education camp or something?
If you deepfake porn, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
I'm speaking as a third-party observer with no context here. I'm just guessing, right? This is based on American views, all right?
Yeah.
If you deepfake porn of certainly politically important people, I imagine.
Oh yeah.
You would just.
You'd be
one day you would log in, and then someday you would stop logging in.
Yeah. Avada Kedavra.
For life.
And you may or may not be seen again.
Yes.
Depending
But
on.
in terms of like smaller celebrities and stuff, I think it's interesting here because China has a very different idea of copyright and certainly IP rights than we do, right?
Yeah.
So I do wonder if the protections on a person's image, if they aren't politically important, will be lessened, or rather will be not seen as severe as the damage done in, say, states or stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't. I will say that I have used some models that originated from China, and in general, the people that posted the models are very respectful, and all of them do say that I do not believe in generating anyone that's real, right?
Yeah.
So they're like amalgam faces or faces that aren't based on real people are fine, but if you generate anything based on like a real person, then that's problematic. So
Hopefully you
I don't know. That's indicative of anything.
Hopefully you scan that file for like pickles, whatever it's called, the pickle thing for the torrents.
No, yeah.
Chinese-
Yes. They're safe tensors, so it should be fine. But yes.
I mean-
Okay.
Speaking,
Hashtag
let's
Frosty.
just segue this, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm segueing this. I don't care.
Segway.
Tencent.
Tencent.
Sorry, Tencent is working with Meta to bring the Quest 2 into China.
Oh.
That's interesting. What, really?
On other news, I need a new VR headset like immediately.
Duh.
Oh,
Why?
well, you
Why
got
do you
that.
need
You got the Pimax. Goodness. Come on.
I don't know when the Pimax is coming. I don't know if the Pimax is going to be a thing. I'm excited, but
Yeah.
they haven't replied to my emails. They haven't said anything. Yeah.
Well,
There's apparently finger tracking, according to one YouTube dude. But I'm whether you didn't narrate it.
I mean, yeah, you know
Alright.
what? Yeah. No. Fuck it. Let's continue with that topic. It's not in it, but
Yeah, Pimax. Let's
No,
cover Pimax.
no, not about Pimax. About like how the Quest.
We can grow
Wait,
Pimax.
is it Quest 2 coming to China? Yeah, like how
Quest
basic.
2, Tencent is working with Meta to try and
Yeah.
bring the Quest 2 to China. We don't know if it'll succeed, but $2 billion companies, I don't
But
see
the
it not
question-
succeeding.
but the question
that's
is-
strange.
The question is, what would change in the Quest 2 when it comes to China?
Well, I imagine access to Facebook will be limited.
I mean, yeah.
That would be really. That's crazy. Really, China's gonna let with all the turmoil
that-
going on right now between China and the U.S. They're actually gonna let Meta in the country at this point in history.
Apparently. Okay, so
That's what.
what happened was, this is related to the VR crash situation, but so Tencent was
Yeah.
originally working on their own VR project. They fired a bunch of engineers, they dropped that, and now they're trying to co-op with Meta to launch a China version of the Quest 2. We don't know if they'll succeed, but yeah.
That's cool because the Quest 2 is like I recommended the Quest 2 as like headset of the year last year because it's like the most durable. Like I have friends and I don't want to say their names, but I have friends who have probably spent 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day since they got it in VR, and I have no idea how their eyes even exist anymore. They should just be like crusted little like carbon balls for the amount of like just abuse their eyes have taken.
No, I know people like that as well. This guy sleeps in VR. And like,
Not as much anymore.
so there's my other co-host that's not here because he's still sleeping.
Maybe he's sleeping. Wait, is he sleeping in VR? Wait.
Yeah, I don't think he's sleeping in VR.
Yeah.
I can't. I have a Pimax. If I slept in VR, I'd break my neck. Snap my
I
neck
can't
right
sleep
off.
in VR even with the Quest. Like, it's still too heavy, honestly. Like, it's still strapping a TV to your bloody face.
Add some rubber and rope and yeah.
I am not a rope bunny.
Yeah, a little bit of
I'm
rubber and
not
rope,
that.
and take
Yeah.
you where you need to be.
But I mean, if
I
Quest
feel
2
like
does
this.
if Quest 2 does come to
Yeah,
China, I
does go
think
to
that-
China.
Yeah, after if it it's launched and everything, then basically later on they'll have into a software update so that they can add even more like data collecting stuff and some real-time tracking stuff, and the CCP like injects itself into the
yeah.
project basically. Yeah, I think
They'll
that's
they'll reverse engineer it, steal the code.
yeah.
From a long time ago, that's based on the Quest 2 and the Quest 1 and the Rift S, and it says that because of these headsets, Facebook can now track you based on the way you walk, the way you stand. So if China gets access to that, that'll be kind of spooky.
Yeah. I mean,
It's gonna happen regardless, though. Like,
Yeah, I know.
I mean, if you do get it, I'd imagine, like in your case, I'd imagine that you'll try your best to see if there's like a off software thing where you'd format the headset then install the custom thing.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I would basically root it and run custom firmware into it if I could. Yeah, 100%. No questions asked. Yeah. But that's just because I value my data privacy and not because I'm afraid of any particular government.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Frosty
fine.
doesn't do
It's
doesn't do
okay.
anything wrong ever.
Yeah.
Yep,
Frosty is
yep,
wholesome.
nope,
He's a
I
straight
follow
man.
all the
Yep.
rules. I pay all
Outstanding
my
citizen,
taxes, right?
well-educated.
100%. I don't have any crypto, right? I don't
Yeah.
have any overseas accounts. It's whatever. It's
No
okay.
Doge, no
You're
Bitcoin.
good. Yep. No Doge, no Bitcoin. Only like a couple garlic coins that are worth nothing. It's all right.
Garlic coins.
All right. Okay.
I want some garlic
All right.
coins.
I'll stop tangenting.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I used to mine garlic coin, right? Because garlic coin was the dumbest coin. You mined it with your hard drive.
I have
Oh,
Chia
that
coins.
coin.
I've been mining Chia for a while.
Yeah, it's like Chia.
Oh
I think
yeah.
I still mine Chia.
Oh,
Dude,
just
I loved the little. I was in the little Garlic community, and they were convinced.
Garlic.
Like they weren't convinced, but they were like, "To the moon! My 3 Garlic's gonna make me a billionaire."
yeah,
Oh,
every
that's
crypto
great.
community is
The
basically
Garlic
like that.
standard.
Oh my god, this project
Crypto
moon.
will be
Oh my
back.
god, this project moon. Yeah, every crypto project is a moon. But
I do
It's coming
personally
back,
think
coming
that
back.
yeah,
the big two, I'm going to say, like, ETH, Bitcoin is going to come back. I don't know what else is going to come back though.
I have a lot of Ripple, like a lot of Ripple.
Oh yeah, Ripple.
I'm a centralized. I don't like. I'm a centralized person. I don't think decentralization is gonna go anywhere. I don't like cowboy coins. I really don't. But that's like kind of
Cowboy
like people
coins.
like, well, counterintuitive because the banks are just gonna make their own thing. But but I still think the efficiency of like Ripple and stuff is interesting. I was big into Stellar Lemons, but I lost too much money with Stellar, so I had to like. Everyone's like Ripple's better in every way, blah blah blah. So anyway, a lot of Ripple now.
I almost lost
Yeah,
2,000 from Luna, but no, I escaped with profits.
Wait, you had Luna?
No, I got profits,
I mean,
but
you
because I
escaped,
was
you
safe.
escaped,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
escaped.
I got profits from
You
this. That's
escaped.
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So
I think I have like a couple unicorn. I think I actually have some love potion, and like I lost all my money on that.
love potion.
Where did these coins from?
What else do I have?
I have milkers.
Dude, I just buy shit coins. I just see funny shit coins. I'm like, oh, let's buy some of these.
I can send you some
I
milkers.
never bought
If
safe
you get in early enough.
Do you want some milkers?
Wait, did you make a new coin?
No. It's
You
a
mint
coin
new
that I
coin,
bought.
it's
There was
called
like
milkers?
a website with
Okay.
like huge anime cow woman. They're selling milkers.
This is kind of interesting because like this map here, it runs off chips. Like I've got like casino prefabs,
Oh.
and I'm always thinking like, how can I like monetize my world or sell out without like selling out without like compromising the map, you know? And it'd be like interesting if if VRChat had some sort of like API plugin where you could like crypto was like they need their did you guys talk about this before, like how VRChat like kind of should get its own like cash system to like tip like map creators and stuff like that.
You talked about it, I
I-
think.
Yeah, we know. We talked
Because I
about
feel
it.
like we really need a way for like a subscription model or something where like people are incentivized to give half their like VRC plus thing to like map creators. Because I'm a map creator and like I can't even pay for my
Yeah.
Photoshop subscription. The amount of money I make from this, you know. Hopefully
Yeah.
it changes, but like
Yeah.
it'd be nice
Like,
if
right
they
now,
really
it's definitely very like avatar focused in terms of people who make money in VRChat, right? All the avatar makers seem to, at the very least, break even. But map makers
The
seem like there's
hotties,
very
yeah.
few ways to monetize, which kind of sucks. But then again, I always say that, in my opinion, VRChat as it is right now doesn't make any sense to me because I don't know. Well, okay, it makes sense in the sense that they only exist because they kept afloat by investor funding. I kind of hope they figure out a way to monetize the game that's not going to destroy the player population, but also makes it sustainable in the long term, right? The game as a whole, because the server
they'd be
costs and stuff like that.
They'd be stupid if they can't figure that out. There's so many ways to do it. They could even have like like a Twitch style thing where you can get like unlocks or something or new borders. But like the thing is like nobody really cares about menu. They want like tangible items or they want some sort of like perk
They
or
want
something.
tangible items, yeah.
So like if they had some sort of like system that incentivized like, you know, a monthly subscription or rolling over your subscription or something or some tier list or something or even just like a supporter number with like a little star like you've done to this, people would would OCD that, you know, and I haven't really thought too much about, you know, I have thought a little bit about like the creator aspect because like I'm a map creator and it would be nice to make a living doing this because this is like what I love doing. I'll probably die doing this. Like this is my favorite thing ever to do, making worlds and experiencing with people. But it would be really cool, like because like the map creators are literally the future of VRChat because they can barely get a menu UI working, you know. So like they really need to get. It doesn't work right now. Let's be clear, the UI does not work. And if Tupper's listening, please go back to the old UI just to show your company like a lesson, just to teach your company a lesson on like how scuffed the new UI is because it doesn't work. It doesn't update. You know, it's like there's like 7 different menus that should do the same thing. Like it just like why? I don't know. Yeah. Everyone I've talked to has a similar opinion. Sure, there's some nice like niche levels of the, you know, blades of the menu which are kind of like functional and all that, but like half the time I'm using the venue, I feel like I feel like I'm like my mentally deteriorating, like I have Alzheimer's because I don't know where I am, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what icon. Maybe it's me because I'm being 36, but I don't know. It's just rough. It just hurts.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Hopefully they. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to talk about, of course, in terms of how they can improve VRChat Plus and how they can make it more appealing to people.
Yeah.
And of course, yeah, it's kind of fair for the VRChat company to give some kind of percentage to work creators because that's literally the content of the game. Yeah. In terms of having some sort of economy, I guess. It would be interesting, like for example, like you'd have that ball over there, that'd be like if you can click it, a UI pops up like, hey, do you want to buy this, and put it in your prop inventory. Yeah, that would be nice.
Or if you're in a map, you can unlock certain items in a map. Like if you're in this map, you can unlock, like, let's say like a special bottle of whatever, or like a crown or something. Like it'd be neat, like, because I'm trying to do that right now, like have the props like attached. But then like after you get over 20 people, like the props stop working, they stop attaching, and then the scripts and then the net code's always a nightmare, and the video players are broken, and just everything always seems to be a fight. And because everything's just kind of pieced together like Lego bricks, so it's really tricky to get. Like a unified. I'm trying to do with this map, get like a unified system that like other map creators will kind of like gravitate to, and that's like the gold standard for like how a world should be that wants to be like a gathering place with like some fun stuff to do with friends. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
In terms of interactions, I also feel like I'm going to call it the World 3.0 SDK doesn't have actually that many interactions. You can grab stuff, but like that's kind of it, right? Everything else is custom scripting on top of that, which takes time and that sort of stuff. It's just me complaining about stuff though.
Or even if VRChat did like a prefab, you could put in your map, and they had little like tip toggles where you could tip it, and then your name would go on the board. That would take them like no time. Like honestly, like there's people who do that now, but they do it through like secondary apps and all this like GitHub repositories, and it's just you put your API in and it automatically logs up. Logs all the stuff, updates it, and it's like if the VRChat creators could like just give a little bit back to the community, because there's people that like literally all they do is make maps, all they do, all day in day out, and I don't know the mental health of those people, but like there's no way, like hopefully they come from like trust fund families, or these people are gonna sink. So like it would be really nice to help the people that are like literally giving up their lives for this, because there's people. This is like not a game to people. This is really not a game. This is like real. I have better friends in VRChat than I have in real life, way better. And the VRChat devs really need to like take things seriously and really get their community aspect together, because they are really slacking. They got to hire people. They got to do what they got to do. Meta's dead. Yeah. VRChat can be the future. It'll probably get bought by Meta at some point and just smash into a million pieces and then throw in the garbage. At which point we'll hopefully have like a Unity alternative where we can go to. But for the time being, at least try. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And certainly if you include like a tip jar and stuff, right? Just like Twitch. VRChat itself could siphon a little bit off, like kind of like 1% off, 2% off on top. Yeah. And then so you can handle transaction fees, but 10, you can also
take 10, I don't care.
Actually support the fucking platform, yeah.
Wait.
Because I don't look. I love VRChat, but I don't want VRChat to be fucking funded by Tencent or like funded by Meta or funded by these giant investment companies that don't know what this is about.
Yeah,
anyway,
I agree, Frosty.
That's just me.
There's no reason they can't implement a digital river flow of cash. They can pull little portions of it away, and I don't mind if they take, I'd say even up to 18% of like a tip. They can take that. I don't care. Just give us something. They're hosting the servers.
Hire more developers.
Don't do it. Don't do what Twitch does and take like 50%, because that's heinous.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Just wondering.
I still have no idea how Twitch Prime makes money, by the way. But okay.
Can you put like a web browser thing on one of the screens, or is that hard?
I think that's coming. I think.
Oh, okay. Basically, you can have your own store on one of your screens and basically put a Bitcoin address.
I think they have an API call-in thing that's happening. but like it would be nice if it was just done through their system or something, or like your VRChat Plus subscription gives you like a certain amount of VR coins a month, and you can tip your favorite creators. And if you don't tip them, you don't get some magical prize at the end of the month to incentivize the actual use of your bank. You know, so that would be neat. And if VRChat devs are listening, that's probably where you want to be. Like that's like I'm not a genius, but I kind of am, and you probably want to go in that direction. So.
Yeah, a point system would be really easy.
Also, if Tupper is listening, you want to come onto the podcast, there's always a seat for you. We can shit on the metaverse together, even though it's dead now.
Yeah, I've never met Tupper. Apparently, he's pretty nice. My friend Gal met.
Same, yeah.
Wait, Tupper is the purple chicken.
I love to meet like one of the devs, blue-haired avatar, I think, maybe
with the dragon horn.
He's the well, okay. They are the community manager. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got no clue what their avatar is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it would be great if they. We talk about having no legs.
I'm going to reiterate this point, right? I still think all VRChat developers should be required to spend at least 1 hour a week in a public Pug instance or a public Black Cat instance. I feel like that's a requirement. Okay.
Yeah.
That's probably a good idea.
I mean, Chill Out VR does it, but I mean, Chill Out doesn't have it. Whatever.
Yeah, but Chill Out doesn't have players. You know?
Yeah, they're like, there's no players. Let's just chill in our own game.
Look, the public worlds are like the same 3 people in the same room, okay? Look, I would love for them to actually have great things, but you know.
Yeah. Okay.
What would it be?
Okay. Oh, yeah. Back on the actual topic. Okay. Another AI thing. Is it? So basically, it's AI in the workplace, in the work environment, in profession. Is it a detriment to your people's lives, or is it a good thing? Will it help them in their work, or is it like a mix of both? I'm assuming you mentioned before you used AI in your current work. So what's your thoughts on that?
So AI is for me, because like I'm not a texture artist or anything like that. So AI for me is very powerful. I have traditional 2D artist friends, some that would like want to go to war with AI, and others that kind of embrace it. I find the ones that embrace it are generally the smarter people that I've seen. But there is like arguments to be made about like ethical AI and the fact that AI skimmed like a lot of people's work and is like using it for algorithms, and how AI works right now. The algorithms that it's using are technically their art, because it's like imprinted. So it's like not ethical in a lot of senses right now, and I agree with that, but in the future it might be, depending on how technology evolves. So like I use AI in my map. I use like a little something called Invoke AI, which is kind of like a painting tool. So you can do like so I'll get like a generic HDRI skybox or something, just as an example. And then I'll paint off the stars, and I'll be like stars, and I'll do all these little like sunset or something, and then I'll take it into like Photoshop, and I'll do some fine adjustments, some like not smudging, I hate the smudge tool, but just some fine little adjustments with like the sun and stuff like that. And I'll actually create like skyboxes out of AI if I want a certain style or a certain mood. Like my other map, Water Theater, it's got like this, I really wanted like this moody sunset coming with like a dark sky and like kind of like casting over top. So I did a lot of that with AI. I do a lot of textures with AI, not necessarily tileable textures, but like there's like some algae kind of in the fish tank that was done with AI. There's, it's done some plant stuff with AI. I've done quite a bit of stuff with AI. It's still kind of like not amazing, but if you mess around with it enough, and you're like it is its own skill set. And I feel like artists today who don't incorporate AI don't stand a chance in the future, because like it's going to allow you to be a super artist if you can utilize it potential, like utilize its full potential. And people who don't realize like what an insane tool is, and like how much content it can, it's going to put a lot of these like internet like databases of like just textures and stuff like out of like, they're not going to be getting any revenue anymore, because people are just going to be download like a Blender plugin, hit a button, and it's just going to like cycle through like a million different stone textures until it, and that'll be soon, like that'll be very soon. 3D models will be soon as well. If I wanted a 3D model of like a chair, you just type in chair 3D model and you hit the button until you get the one you like. Mind you, now you'd probably still have to go through and re-topologize the model efficiently. But even if you're looking for a stylized chair, sometimes stylizing a 3D object is where your brain lights on fire. You're always like looking for reference art. But if you have an AI that you can just go like do like 10 a second, eventually you're going to find one and just be like, okay, well that was faster than, you know, looking through like IKEA catalogs and taking pictures or whatever, you know. So
yeah. It's just the amount
Super
of
artists.
like fast iteration that you can do with AI. Like just the amount of iterations you can pump out in a couple of minutes of. Okay, so context. I do love Stable Diffusion, not for work. I use it for fun mostly. I just generate funny looking pictures or anime girls, right? Nothing special, nothing weird. Okay, some weird stuff, but you know, nothing like
weird.
ethically questionable for sure.
Yeah, nothing too crazy.
Right.
I oversee this work.
He oversees this. I send him pictures at fucking the weirdest hours of the day.
Girls with
Okay,
six
so in
knees.
terms of using AI for work, I see a lot of people, and I didn't realize this was a thing until I did some research about this. There are people out there that are calling themselves painters or artists when they're completely dependent on Stable Diffusion. I have a lot of issues with that, right? I don't think you should use the same term. You should liken yourself to that sort of thing, especially if you're just using AI. Using AI to supplement yourself is different. That's two different things, in my opinion. In terms of AI itself, as to whether or not I think it's ethically fair to sell AI work as work, that's a tough one for me. So
Depends on the model, I
personally
think.
don't really think it depends on the model. Yeah. So for Stable Diffusion 1.5, I don't think so, because Stable Diffusion 1.5 uses some images that are copyrighted and or whatever, and certainly custom trained models will have a lot of copyrighted information custom trained on top of that. In terms of Stable Diffusion 2.0 and 2.1, that I'm less clear on, because my understanding is that Stable Diffusion 2.0 and 2.1 has taken away a lot of the copyrighted images, and certainly they've also taken away a lot of the, in terms of the ethical question with porn, Stable Diffusion 2.0 and 2.1 have taken away a lot of the training data for sort of nudity and certainly any amount of porn as well, to try and disincentivize people to do it. So it could be that we'll reach an ethical form of Stable Diffusion, which, by the way, I'm still on board of Stable Diffusion rather than something like Midjourney, because Midjourney is closed source, Stable Diffusion is open source, right? So that's just the two things for me in terms of which AI art generation sort of platform I enjoy more. In terms of the work stuff, like more generally speaking, I feel like a lot of office jobs, and certainly a lot of menial office jobs, are going to be replaced. AI can't make sort of executive decisions. AI can't really do any management yet. But in terms of like just sending emails or just like copywriting, I think AI is all over that shit, which is kind of scary given that traditionally these jobs were not replaceable by machines, and I'm not sure if we have society has the ability to cope with something that quickly. In terms of artists, I think people are still going to get commissions, but I'm going to say that, you know, they're going to get less commissions, maybe.
I'm going to step in
less
real
higher
quick.
commission, maybe.
There's still an AI to human translation layer that has to happen somewhere along the way, whether you have your company, and that's the part where it's always going to be bottlenecked. Because like if you're sending emails to like someone overseas and you're trying to explain why your Pinax is on fire or something like that, there's always this language barrier that's just doesn't translate, doesn't add up, and then there's always uncertainty in like what's being said and what's going on, and there seems to be like some scripted loop that keeps happening, and that's without AI. So. With AI, I don't imagine it's going to fix many of the customer service problems. I mean, it just may be a more interesting form of like, you know, telephone, robotic voice or something that's like just kind of like a more appealing middle ground to like, so you don't feel like you're clicking through a bunch of like, you know, bubbles in a text chat or something to like have someone tell you to go F yourself at the end of it.
Yeah.
Just to jump into this a little bit, because I recently saw a demonstration of a product that a company was selling that was basically that. It was basically a middle ground. It was it's in China, but it was a very, very cute sounding sort of AI robot thing. And it was basically not text to speech. It was a support robot. the way it worked was that you needed someone behind the robot to do all the manual configuring, but the robot would output sort of a text log of that summarized whatever the support caller wanted to say, and then all the technician needs to do would be to provide a summarized version of what they need to do, and then the AI would walk them through the steps of diagnosing the issue. It's certainly interesting. Like, human-assisted AI is, I think, very powerful, but I don't know. I'm still worried about, at the very least, like that bottom level menial task getting replaced, or at the very least getting less work, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
What are both your stances on universal basic income?
Wait, what? Oh.
Give me that free money, right? Let's go.
UBI, yeah. What are your stances on UBI? Like, why don't we just transition right into this? Because I'm getting it out of the way right now.
Wait, but
Give me that free money, all right?
Before I just want to deliver a point. Is when you mentioned the like writing articles or whatever, regardless of whatever menial task it is, I think what would like, let's say there's a newspaper agency, whatever. They're writing a lot of content, and they can definitely get an AI to write all of that content, but let's say the CEO or like the manager don't know if that content is actually like correctly accurate. So they, instead of having like multiple, they're not gonna get rid of all of their human resources in that writing department. They probably just keep one or maybe two to just verify all the content that's being generated by the AI, whether it be image or text or.
I agree with that, right?
Yeah.
But you're still reducing the required workforce, right?
Yeah, but
okay. Yeah. It depends. It depends on whether or not this results in just people out of work, or it results in more news sources or more entertaining media and that sort of stuff. I don't know.
What about when AI writes its own code? How many $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year people are going to be out in the streets?
Programmers, you're going to get replaced too. Sorry.
I think programmers are like up. I think they're going to be one of the. They'll be up to the list for people to get replaced. I think programmers.
I think okay. So I have heard from my programmer friend that So for context, he's a full stack developer. But in his opinion, a lot of junior positions, like very junior positions, might be replaced by AI. Certainly, because
the copy paste.
What happens, as far as I know, is that junior positions, they will write a bunch of code, they'll check it, and then a senior position has to check it anyway. So you might as well just have an AI write it, and then you just check it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't replace all of them. Some of them have AI inputs, but yeah.
Redo. This one looks good. This one looks efficient. And then they go through and change some variables and make it maybe a little bit more efficient. Or if the AI would probably do it at that time. That's kind of crazy to think about.
And I'm assuming you brought the UBI topic is because since a lot of jobs are gonna go away, that's why you brought it up, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with it, but personally speaking, I'm anti-tax, so I don't know where they're gonna get the money from.
Oh no.
Tax the corporation, sir.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to tax the multinationals and all the aerospace startups that are going to start happening.
Personal income tax for the little guy, for us, right? That's illegal, okay? But for the multinational corporations that's stealing and plundering from our land, right? Stealing from our intellectual property, fuck them. Fuck them. All right.
I'm still in like a third. I think I'm in the 33% area. I think like 1/3 of everything you own should be redistributed into society in some way. But then you gotta understand that like there's like multinational corporations that pay like zero taxes or negative taxes because some of the reasons they do that is because they're in competitions with the CCP and other foreign adversaries. So like the American government actually uses those corporations as like a kind of a weapon, economic weapon. So it sucks, and it's kind of keeping us trapped in a lot of ways. It's funny. You probably don't want to sit here and listen to a guy with an upside down cross in his face talk about one world governments. But I mean, I think in order for things to kind of make sense, I do think we need some sort of global cooperation. I'm not saying on the local level it's going to be like some sort of like down, but like we're talking like space.
I'm clearly the best person for this job, right? You should elect me as a president of all nations, king of the world, okay? Now, here's my promises, right? You don't have to pay personal income tax. Fast internet for everyone. Gigabit for everyone. Okay, that's all I got.
Duh. I mean, how I
we'll
see...
try to move to a post-scarcity society. Okay, there we go.
No, but
There we
it's
go. That's
like,
my pitch.
I guess if I had to put, like, aside from being anti-tax and like presenting a UBI opinion, I wouldn't mind it. However, considering how fast, considering how fast technology is going, and with the assumption that everything's being handled by machines mostly, then at that point, if just money is just gonna keep coming in, and corporations would basically think, or like corporations or anybody that has some kind of money production, whatever, people are, they want people to spend money. So what might happen is, or like if I was a corporation in this time period, I would basically create whatever kind of jobs, like that's not that's not needed by my company, but I just create it so that other people can choose to provide their services or time or labor to me, and then I just give them said money, and I'll just create as many jobs as I possibly can, regardless, even though it's like basically a detriment to the company. And that's how the money going to people, then cycling it to the economy goes. At least that's how I see it.
Yeah.
In the defense of like the libertarian mind or a libertarian mindset, not saying you're a libertarian, but it is very hard to imagine an economy that doesn't exist, or in a world that doesn't exist right now. So it is very scary for a lot of people when you mention stuff like like taxation. Like some people are like, well, I worked hard for that money. That's literally breathing coal fumes and killing myself. I'm entitled to that money. And like, I agree with that person. But like in the future, I don't think that's going to be a valid argument anymore to have. Cause like, it's going to be, things are going to be a lot different. Systems are going to be different. The hybrid economies we exist in, they're like mostly the capitalism with socialism. I mean, every system, even including America, is a hybrid economy. It's got capitalist, socialist, and communism, undertones. So like, in order for like, you get all these crazy, politically motivated, let's just say, I don't want to get too political here, but let's just say some people are very adamant in the fact that, they wanted a certain way. And it's not necessarily going to, it doesn't really make sense, like calling everyone, classifying certain countries or people under these categories, because at the end of the day, there's so many different levels. I don't think is there an official communist regime on the planet right now? Like, is North Korea is like communist, I guess, maybe?
I guess
they're closer to a tyrannical dictatorship, right?
Yeah.
So like,
they're closest to communist, yeah.
Yeah, so like, it's like you can't just go around like, oh, Canada is, we're communists because blah blah blah, handouts and just giving our money to like countries that need it. It's like, no, there's like global pacts, like each country, like everyone like does equalizes stuff. Like money is literally printed, people. Like, come on, like you gotta understand how like global economics work and supply, scarcity and demand.
Bitcoin.
Like, money is printed. Like. Yeah, so it's like value is what tangible resource and all this stuff. I don't really like. I'm not an economics professor, but giving a couple of million or whatever dollars to a country where kids can't afford shoes is not gonna buy you a new house in your country. But sensible regulation might allow you to afford a house someday. Not in Canada though. Canada's screwed with housing right now, but we're working on it. Justin Trudeau's better get his. He's got to tighten the. There's got to be some stuff.
Speaking of housing, oh my god,
there's got to be some regulation.
If I'm not paying like $3,000 to $4,000 in rent every month, that'd be good. Thank you very much. Okay, bye bye.
Yeah, rent slavery is a new slavery.
Come to Turkey, $200 or $3.
No, you literally told me your currency inflated by 20% over the course of a month.
Work remotely, you'll get your Hong Kong pounds or whatever.
You're like, yeah, dude. There's tangible inflation from the start of the month to the end of the month based on the price of this fast food burger I bought. What the fuck?
Look,
that's crazy.
Erdogan scares me a little bit. I'm a little afraid of Erdogan. I don't know if I'd move to Turkey.
Well, I mean, election's gonna happen soon, so maybe he'll say, maybe he'll get removed. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the
All
next
right,
topic
I'm gonna
is
stand in for Snow. Wait, who's Erdogan?
the president of Turkey.
Who's Erdogan? Erdogan, whatever.
President of Turkey.
I see it. Yeah, he's so yeah. He's not bad. Like he's not the worst. He just there's some history and some weirdness, but yeah, like probably.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Not the greatest that way.
I wonder if he'd
just
play
to put it lightly.
VRChat and if he'd mirrored well. With
No.
no. With that said, that's the segue. With that said, why do people mirror dwell? Anyone got an idea?
Oh, okay. So one time I found myself mirror dwelling for like 10 minutes, and I got really confused, and like I felt like I was like stun locked. I'm like, what's happening? So I think like maybe mirror dwellers just like don't have that self-awareness feature in their brain where they're like, oh, I'm sitting in front of a mirror. What am I doing? I think they just like kind of like a moth to the flame. Like they just get stuck in they get captured in the pixels.
But, well, okay. I mean, moth likes the light because, well, you know, not darkness and heat. I'm assuming that's why they like it. So what would be the reasons for a person to mirror dwell? I mean, at least in your experience. Like, why did you get
that's
stunned?
That's a pretty good analogy there. I think it was when I was using an avatar I created or modified. So this is not my, okay, so yeah, this is my modified Abby. I've done like some stuff to it. It's like Suitbot 4.0.
Yeah,
that's where you can find it. It's on Gumroad or something. So I modified the head, and then I just all of a sudden I was just found myself sitting in front of the mirror, looking at like the work I created, and I was just kind of like fascinated and amused by it that I created something, and I even find it with my map too. I'll always like end up like just like even last night we had like 30 or 40 people on this map for like 4 or 5 hours, which is like new for me. I've never seen that many people in a public for that long. So like I literally was just sitting there like people watching and just like enjoying people in my map, and it was like extremely satisfying. But the thing is, like, not all mirror dwellers create their own abbeys. I suppose some find them and some upload them. So I don't know, like, what there might be some sort of body dysmorphia level to it where people are like comfortable like looking that way. I don't have body dysmorphia, so I can't really talk about that.
Yeah.
But for me, I think it was more of a just like something I've created this. I'm in it. It's very cool. It feels everything. I got full body, so I can move my feet, and it just feels good, and everything looks pretty cool. But I don't typically know I think there is a body dysmorphia level to it, because I find a lot of people and couples and stuff, they'll sit in front of mirrors. Well, there's the reason couples sit in front of mirrors is because you get tactical feedback. You can see like head pets and stuff, or you can see like, you know, when you're like where you're touching them. So it's like it's kind of more. It gives a more like awareness to the situation. But I think there is like they think there is a category of lonely mirror dwellers, which is like a very dark category, and I don't really know. I think it's like kind of sad in some ways, but I don't really want to be that you know.
You don't want to become a lolly?
Hey, lonely guys that are looking at the mirror for 20 hours a day. You're kind of sad. All right, coined. There we go. Good podcast. Shit on people. I'm kidding.
Why do you?
No, but like I've definitely seen people do the same thing. I was in the waiting room.
Yeah.
I was there for 4 hours. So I wasn't alone. I was like chatting with people and stuff. But there was this guy. He just sat in front of the mirror. He was there the whole time because he would like react to stuff if I like went up to mess with him. But he just sat by the mirror and didn't say anything for 4 hours, staring at his avatar.
Oh my god.
Basically unmoving unless he had to like, you know, move his hands or something. It was just like breathing. It was, I don't know how people do that shit.
That's scary.
Maybe he has OSX overlay on watching a movie while listening to you.
He could be, I guess. He could be. Yeah. But in general, I think mirror dwelling with friends or mirror dwelling in a group of people is very different from mirror dwelling alone. And I agree with CRiMSOM in that if you worked on an avatar and if you implemented something or whatever, it's very cool to see yourself in it, see yourself like moving it and stuff.
Yeah.
And suddenly I don't have you know any dysmorphia or anything, but I can imagine people with dysmorphia will find it very comforting to be in, you know, a new body or whatever, right?
New flesh,
or you know, furries would enjoy their not $3,000 fursuit because a real fursuit is way too expensive for some reason.
Yeah.
There is that like certain avatars, you'll notice it too. Like some of you probably have friends who have like they'll get in like a certain type of avatar, and their energy will change. Whether it's like a little monkey or like a big, like they're literally their psychology changes depending on which avatar they're in. And in some people that's like really prevalent. Like you'll notice like that if they're in a big avatar, they'll get kind of like slower and a little bit. They'll be more kind of like like a bigger figure, whereas if they're in a little avatar, they'll be more kind of like either quicker, hyper, or kind of like more like passive. So
look at this
it is a
hyper
big
fellow over
it is
here.
Excuse me, no, I'm about to say regardless of whatever shape I'm in. All right, but no, like certainly I can imagine someone in this avatar would be much more hyper or much more happy or go-lucky or cheery than the
childlike, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, this is why when you get into this effort and you don't change your behavior, it's adorable in its own way. It's like, you're a little dolly, but you think you're a man.
No. Look, when I was this age, all right, I could already do calculus. That's how Asian I am. Okay. Facts.
But okay, I mean, I got multiple takes on this. The first take is, I mean, look, the point about like checking out your new stuff on your new I think that's very normal. Like people wear new clothes and they like, oh, look at my new clothes in the real life, and they check themselves out on the mirror. But in terms of VR chat, one of the reasons is body dysmorphia. I guess that's it. But I guess in terms of me, why I look at myself, even if I was alone, it's not necessarily body
Nagasaki and
dysmorphia.
Hiroshima.
I mean, they're great, but it's not necessarily about that or body dysmorphia. I don't care about my body, like even in real life, or like if I was a woman, or currently I'm a man.
You should. Please stop eating fast food.
I didn't mean it like that. What I mean is, I think of myself as an entity, not a male or female. If I'm in a male body, then I'm a male, I guess. Or if I jumped into a female body, I'm a female. And like there would be slight behavioral changes, but in terms of looking at myself in VR chat, I guess it's just exciting to see, or interesting, not exciting. Interesting to see myself and not the body that I was in for how old am I? 27? I guess 27 years.
Boomer.
And aside from that, the other reason is in a group
shit, I'm
setting.
the youngest one here. Oh shit, I can call both. Yes. Good.
Oh no.
And the third reason is
I'm 26.
in terms of a group setting. It happens. The reason why I say it happens is because I think people find it awkward to talk face to face, especially when there's no topic happening. So when there's like that space, they just looking at the animations or like people doing stuff in the mirror or yourself doing stuff in the mirror would act as a filler between dead air between whatever discussions are happening.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, and certainly, I'm going to fill in here because our esteemed co-host that fell asleep and has chosen not to wake up because they can't, because their time management skills are awful. I'm going to fill in for his opinion, right? Let me pretend to be him for a second. He gets turned on by the avatars he wears. They all have massive titties. There's a reason they have massive titties. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I like hentai, so like there are definitely avatars like, oh, hot.
Yeah, but all the avatars he wears are like that.
Isn't it kind of like
all of them?
Isn't it kind of crazy how like the number one like prime like reason for buying VRChat Plus right now is so you can hide your NSFW avatars while you're like looking at them like pervertly? Like that's just so weird because you can like it allows you to
do that. Wait. How do you do that? What?
Well, VRChat Plus allows you to put a background in. So if you're in some sort of NSFW avatar, like you can't see, people can't see which avi you're in as your display pic, right? And that's like the prime. That's right. Only reason. I see. That is probably the driving factor. Right? Like this is how badly VRChat's messed up. The driving factor for buying VRChat Plus right now is to hide your lewd avatar that you're in, so your friends don't judge you. That is the only reason to get VRC Plus.
Oh, the tab thing, and
Yeah.
That's
the only
I
reason.
genuinely never figured that out.
Yeah, don't ask me how I figured it out, but yeah, that's basically the reason. That's probably their number one seller.
I only have VRC Plus because I feel like if I don't buy this game, I would feel responsible if they shut this game down and they ran out of money. I would feel personally responsible.
Okay, all right.
Okay, since with this new information,
Yeah.
Any VRChat Plus user, I'll go asking like, so where's your naughty avatar?
All right, no, look, you're nice. I'll say it.
Say, which Avi do you hide with your VRC Plus background?
With every VRChat user, right? You go up to them and you call them a whore. That's how it is, right? Every VRC Plus user. That's what they are. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. For reference, I respect women. Right? We respect women in this podcast. Nothing wrong. You know.
Men can be
Men
whores.
Call
can
them
be
man
whores too.
whores.
Yeah.
Men and generally per capita are probably bigger whores than women, I'd say.
That's true. I agree.
Don't shove.
Okay, let me switch back to an avatar that's not like 3 years
YouTube
old.
doesn't cancel this
No,
podcast.
Lolly
now.
goes away.
No, we've said worse things, and one of us, usually the certain person who fell asleep and hasn't woken up yet, has their titties hanging out. So YouTube clearly doesn't care.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I guess enough with the porn. I think. Wait, is there more porn topics? No. Okay, no.
Is there more porn topics?
No, I don't think
let's
so.
have a look at the porn topics. No, I'm kidding.
But no, yeah. The next.
That's what everyone's here for.
The next topic is Frosty brought it up, which is
Okay.
the market crashed apparently in VR, and so the issue, Frosty's gonna explain it a bit. But with that said,
Okay, let me context.
The question would be
Go.
like how the VR software industry is affected from work creation, game creation, or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, Frosty, go explain.
So context. There are a couple of items that happened in the past couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft fired their entire VR XR team. So Windows MR entirely fired. HoloLens might be a thing, but like in terms of consumer grade stuff, all of them have been fired. WMR headsets are no longer a thing. Meta is fired even more people, and originally apparently it was rumored they planned 3 headsets, which was the Quest Pro, Quest 3, and somewhere in between there was allegedly a headset in between. That got canned. They fired a bunch of people. They're working with Tencent now. Pico 4 sales did not hit intended targets. Intended sort of didn't hit the sales margins, and so they're cutting back on production. There are rumors of Sony doing the same thing with PSVR 2 because initial adoption wasn't great, but Sony has denied this, but obviously they would deny it.
Yeah.
So yeah, VR industry as a whole doing very badly right now.
Yeah.
Also, Echo Arena, the only VR esports, was recently shut down, which sucks balls, but it also suggests
that's
that
weird.
it couldn't support itself.
Oh, sad.
It couldn't
We are
support
in a
itself.
recession,
It's
right? We're technically in a
Yeah.
recession.
We are in a recession, yeah.
I was
and
about to
VR
mention
is
that,
cutting edge
yeah.
tech, I suppose.
Yeah, it's not like VR is failing. It's like the whole world is failing. That's why they're cutting back.
Yeah, the housing market hasn't adjusted yet, but I mean, it seems like all the corporations are tightening up, and I don't know. I think Elon Musk said it was going to be like a 2-year, I mean, Elon Musk, take him as he will, but I think he said it was going to be like 2 years before things get back together, best case scenario. But things could still get weird with issues geopolitical issues with Ukraine, Russia thing, and then China to Taiwan thing, and all this stuff. And North Korea, they're putting a lot of pressure on North Korea right now. So hopefully nothing gets too bad. But I think sanity will prevail.
Yeah.
But I mean, ignorance is a very powerful tool, and when you have political powers not getting along, obviously it creates a lot of uncertainty, and everyone's wants their own survival. So I mean, there could be a confrontation of some sort. Hopefully there isn't, but yeah, so yeah, a bit of uncertainty right now in the world, and I don't know whether it's going to be a long-term or short-term thing, or how bad it's going to get. I'm an optimist, and I like to think the evolution will find a way of rooting out the problems in each social structure, whether the military has to intervene and wherever. But yeah, I think think things will get better, but there is a lot of issues right now. The housing market, the economy is messed up. We got AI. There's tons of issues. Global warming. Get a little heavy here, but
nukes, earthquakes,
I think
tsunamis.
Earthquakes in Turkey and.
Oh, speaking of earthquakes, are you dead?
Not yet. Well, stay tuned.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have a special if he ends up passing
Coming
away.
at you live. I'm under Raurabel.
Yeah, help. SOS, send help.
And just in case that was sensitive, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that might be.
Yeah.
As technology advances, though, our lives become easier, though. So there's a lot of there's a lot of optimism for the future, and I think just looking at all the negative is not a good way to live, because often things your brain doesn't. It's always things are way worse in your head than they are in reality. Global warming's relatively slow. Yes, it'll cause issues. Desertification of certain areas are going to cause, but it often happens slower than you think. And I think people need to look at the positive things, not ignore the things that are going to cause you issues, but imagine how you can fix them, or there's things you can do to fix them, or whether it's you got to run for government, or you got to find people who believe in science, whatever you got to do. Get kind of in a situation in which you're hopeful, or you have control of your future, and people who don't don't believe in the same who don't believe in, let's just say, the facts, kind of try to get rid of them as best you can without killing them.
So what you're saying
I'm
is
just
try your best.
saying, facts don't care about your feelings. I'm desperately suppressing the Ben Shapiro lines.
Oh, Shapiro. Ben Shapiro's my favorite pseudo-intellectual. I absolutely love him.
Nah.
Look, he says a little crazy shit, but I feel like facts don't care about your feelings is kind of true.
Yeah.
They don't. They just don't.
So, but
yeah.
So your message is try to survive and make money. Is that the message?
I suppose, yeah. I know, and I know it's tricky, and it's
yeah.
How do we need sweeping change? How quickly do we need sweeping change? Can we just deal with gradual change? Can we deal with multiple space-based missions going to the moon? Can we deal with space battles over resources? Can we deal with the water crisis that is going, the resource crisis for water and stuff that's going to happen in the future? Are we prepared to deal with those things? And I really hope we are. And I think at the end of the day, I as much as I've had issues with United Nations and stuff in the past, I don't think the answer is completely abolishing the United Nations and starting over. I don't think that's a situation in which anyone benefits. I think we have to kind of reform structures from within and and implement measures for global cooperation from the systems we have now, because there is a framework there. It's in place. Whether American politics or Canadian politics are perfect how they work, they're obviously not. But populism will only get you so far, and I think at the end, intellectualism will get you even farther. So we do need to have intellectual based hierarchies in our nations that actually propel stuff over populist rhetoric and fear and divisiveness and all this other stuff. So there's far too many people. The new Bible is memes. If you want to know what the Bible is of our century, it's memes, and that's really sad and pathetic that people get their news, ideology, information from memes. They don't know how to check papers. They don't know how to look up. They just don't do it. It's you put your parents in front of YouTube for a week and then go back and look at their YouTube front page. You'll never put them in front of a computer again. You'll unplug the computer, you'll throw it in the backyard, because they literally get siphoned like cattle down these channels. And the same things happens with kids and Instagram and stuff. They get siphoned down these suicide corridors where I'm on a Facebook group for kids who get scared, who have usually on the spectrum, doomsday debunk. So we debunk basically fear articles, and the articles designed specifically to sell fear, like asteroid approaching Earth. Meanwhile, you look at the Century Table, it's like it's been known for 20 years and poses zero threat, but it comes within like 20 lunar distances, and they sell it as like the end of the world is near, and you get all these kids, a lot of them with like Spectrum and stuff. Yeah, and it's like all these kids, they're all like crazy, they're going nuts, and they're like, you know, like they want to kill themselves and stuff like that. And then Facebook is just like, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one, and then you got like government people who like, well, no, well, that's good data, it's good business. It's like, dude, you're killing your children. You would bury your child if for a goddamn bag of coin. Like, it's just insane, the society we live in. So like, and it's all like umbrellaed under like, oh well, it's like free to, you know. So yes, we do need regulation. We do need certain things. You know, free market is not free when Halliburton, you know, owns all the stuff and is going to war in the Middle East to you know, for like, it's like, that's not free. You know, it's like, there's got to be some structural changes that take place before things are going to get better. And right now we're doing not a lot. I think Europe's doing some stuff. North America's not doing a whole lot.
Europe is,
you know, Canada maybe, but America's not doing shit.
Yeah. And like a lot of these corporations are based in the States, so like,
yeah,
they're really only going to be affected by the States doing stuff, right? So
yeah, we don't need CCP, but we do need a layer of like, hey, we're not going to sell your child's data to like some toy company or whoever. Like, who even knows what they're going to sell? You know, selling kids' data to. You know?
Look, politicians, can you grow some backbone? Jesus Christ!
It's, dude, America's like, as much as like, I hope like Europe. I hope America moves to Europe. Like, that's something I've been saying for a long time, because I don't think. Yes, there is some like hope for America, but there's also like a lot of like just stuff that would make you want to claw your eyes out and rip your ears off, and it's really hard to. You just got to turn the channel off after a while.
I mean, America definitely has its own issues. It's very confusing how such a powerful nation can't figure out things that other nations have arguably taken more steps towards. But you know, it is what it is, right? I love America. It's also part of its freedom and part of its bluster.
Yeah,
whatever.
It's blessing and its curse. The Tucker Carlson syndrome, let's call it.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson's a fun.
The Tucker Carlson syndrome.
Sorry.
Let it. Yeah. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine.
But okay. Hey.
It's not fine. It's not fine, but it's happening and whatever.
And that's the reason why the VR market is crashing.
Okay. Back to the VR market, right? Okay, I'll just say my piece, right. A lot of these businesses, right? The VR market has been inflated by a lot of external investment from sort of big giant corporations. Part of me is upset. Well, part of me is disappointed that these corporations are pulling out. Part of me is happy because hopefully it'll lead to more innovative VR designs and more sort of companies that actually give a shit about VR. So for all of Pimax's issues, right? For all of their horrible software issues, I'm sure they actually care about VR, because otherwise they wouldn't be making giant headsets with huge FOVs. And the same for Valve, the same for, you know, what are they called?
The Pico guys?
Shiftall. Yeah, HTC, Shiftall, the guys making slimes, you know, the small companies small companies that hopefully will
the haptics
be given the space to grow.
Yeah. But you okay? I mean, you see it in a positive light then, like, because this crash.
Kind of. I see less VR adoption because people won't have access to incredibly cheap headsets anymore. But I also see better headsets and better hardware coming along. Slower development, but more natural development, because companies aren't just, you know, funneling money into the VR in hopes of getting more clicks or, you know, more customer data.
Do you think open source VR headsets are the future? Do you think until open source VR headsets are adopted, the market's going to be like struck with ineptitude or like maintain a level of like ineptitude? Because like I think like when you get to a level in which you can put your own panels in, you know, you swap your optics out and all this stuff, and it's in a form factor that doesn't look like a, you know, like a huge box strapped to your head.
Stupid TV.
Yeah. Because like there is a certain amount of like width you need in a headset, like Pimax. Okay, I use a Pimax. Pimax is my main driver, AKX. I shit on Pimax because their software is buggy, their hardware, like this one came with a broken microphone and a broken earphones, and I have like third-party devices hooked up to it. That's the only way I can use it. This is my second headset. Hey, I don't want to get into a rant about Pimax because it'll happen, but Pimax and HTC are both, I found both very poor customer support. The number one headset, like I always recommend for people, is usually Meta, and everyone hates Meta. And it's like, well, you gotta they're siphoning my data, and I agree, like it's not good. The practices are trash.
But the hardware is good, so it's cheap.
The hardware is good. Yeah, the only issue is like after like a couple hundred hours, you might get stick drift. It's like,
yeah.
it's,
and in that case, like Meta usually warranties your controllers as well, so like just send them the old controller.
I mean,
yeah, it's like amazing.
There's no arguing that. I would love for open source VR headsets to be a thing. Okay, so I think there is one open source headset that's allegedly coming, and I think it's supposed to run a weird version of Linux as well. It looks okay. It looks kind of bulky, but it looks okay. I'm excited for that, but I'm also kind of skeptical because like VR's difficult, right? VR's hard. I don't know if we'll ever get to a point where or rather, I think the point where VR is as open as PCs are today is probably still 5 to 10 years away in terms of just manufacturers having the
lens.
Let's call
the lenses, right?
Leeway, right? Do this stuff, yeah.
The lenses in angular setup is like the biggest. That's like the big thing. Like if someone can get the optics down, like the lenses and the optics and the angles, and they could just have swappable panels, so you can go like 4K this year, 6K next year, 12K, and you swap it in, you plug it in, and if it breaks, you pull it out, and you're dealing with a lot less e-waste, you're dealing with a lot less, fuss, as long as it's like a some sort of like plastic that's not going to deteriorate or snap over time. But we live in like an expendable economy, like everything's throwaway,
though, right? Because like there's no way you can get people to plug in like shitty little ribbon cables. You have to standardize a Lego-esque sort of format like a PC is. I hope someone's out there dealing with like, I don't know, a PCI for fucking little VR displays or whatever. Because I would love to be able to like slot in my little VR displays the same way I would a motherboard and just be off to the races. I hope that happens.
USB 12.
I really do, but
USB 12.0.
Yeah.
Wait, what USB are we at now?
Worried that the open source VR stuff. 4.
I'm confused because like there's USB-C, different
so
variations of C.
we're at. Well, no, USB-C. Okay, USB-C is just a plug, right? So what USBs we have is 1, 2, 3, 3.1, 3.2, 4, and 3.2 by 2 is the same as 4, because the USB spec doesn't make any sense. But the most modern USB spec is USB 4, and there might be some other things like 4/Lightning, 4/60 whatever gigabit, whatever. But yes, 4 I think is the most modern we are at in terms of USB spec, and USB-C is the home of 4, or it should be. But theoretically, you can put USB 4 on any sort of USB plug. Why haven't we moved on from USB like 2.0 style plugs to USB-C? Like everything should just be USB-C.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I still like USB 2.0. I don't want to get into a debate USB 2.0 versus USB 3.0, the old style connector. I always find USB-C is very, it's good for like little things. Like if I got my HTC trackers on, I got to plug something in. Obviously I don't want like a 2.0 because that would like I don't know, I just feel like that would snap the port right out, whereas 2 will come out cleaner. But I find like there is a nice hardiness to like a good USB 2.0, 3.0 port. Like it does have a good amount of fortitude.
You're
from an engineering standpoint,
because it's just a larger port. But I think technically the spec is USB is rated for more insertions. Whether or not that's in real life true, I don't know. Like especially if you like torque them.
Or insertions.
But if you talk them and stuff, I don't know.
Solution.
You're away with words, Frosty. Clamps would be cool.
Yeah, clamps on C.
But the thing is, like,
I don't know
how many times I've like
DVI,
tripped
VGA
over
cables.
something. I don't know how many times
like DVI, VGA cables where you have to you can screw them in.
No, that's a lot of
Why did those go away, by the way? No. Listen, okay. Listen to this shit. Okay, the amount of times I've accidentally unplugged some cables or like fucking moved my DisplayPort cable in the wrong way, and then it's like, no image.
Clamps are
Okay,
good.
That never
just
happened with
imagine this,
DVI.
Ross.
That never
Okay,
happens
let's
with
just imagine
VJ.
this for a second, though. Okay, I got my HTC trackers on. I got my things plugged into them, and I run up the stairs, and my cable gets hooked on a railing. Do I die, or does the cable come out? Because that's kind of like where I'm at right now. Because if it's clamped in, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna like literally like rip. Like I'm gonna just fall down the stairs.
No.
Snap my neck.
Solution.
MagSafe, right?
Solution.
But in the end, Apple's the solution. A MagSafe.
No. Look. The solution is make weak wires, so the wire will cut. You will destroy the wire.
No, that's bad. These things carry power. USB 3.0 can carry 100 watts of power. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's
Details.
Is it 2 amps? 100 watts to 2 amps?
No, it's like 5 volts at some stupid. They're all 5 volt, but they're at stupid amperages because
Oh, okay.
I don't know, that's how the spec works.
The decentralized, yes, I want decentralized headsets. Like they be really great, and I'd support it. But however, keep in mind that a lot of open source, like this open source stuff, they're slow development until hyperbolic. Then they become the best. But until that point, it's not popular and it's not good at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me solve this real quick. Hey, Linux dudes, you can run Arc Linux in VR. Imagine how cool that would be.
Yeah.
Okay, I've solved it. We're done.
No, okay, but by the way, right.
Just count down the minutes.
Going back on topic, considering that,
Fuck you.
because of all the bad VR stuff,
Fuck the topics.
you're making like you're working in VR at this point in terms of software. So how do you, like are you worried? Are you, like what's up? Yeah.
I'm not really worried because I think okay, so when I started playing VR, I used to come on and play chess. I would just come on my like Quest 2 headset. I'd be like, VRChat. I'm gonna go play chess with some people and just kind of like be social because like the COVID was going on. There was a lot of stuff going on, and it was just kind of a way to like talk to people on like a more meaningful level. And then with chess involved, like you don't even have to talk. You just play games. You have fun. You work on your chess. You do all that stuff. So like for me, like I didn't know there was another layer to VR until someone said, "Hey, go check out the Great Pug," or someone's like, "Oh, you're in the Great Pug?" And then I got pulled into the Great Pug, and all of a sudden, once I'm in the Great Pug, it's like this weird. I'm trying to kill the Great Pug with this map, but it was like this weird influence of like weirdos and like cool people and just insane people. And there's always people cycling through it. So you go up there, you hang out, you'll meet some nice people, and like after a while, I met a lot of my best friends there, and like I don't think I'll meet like there's still nice people and there's still cool people in VR, but like I found a lot of my friend group and a lot of like people I associated with through there. So I think like this is kind of going off on a tangent, but I think like the staying power of VR is very powerful, and I don't really think that like a lull in the market is going to change that, because like I know even my friends who said they moved on from VR, they're still on almost every other day, every day they'll come in and say hi, or we'll hang out in Discord, and if we're not on Discord they'll come find me. So it's like this VR is not, it's like your third home in a lot of ways. It's like you got like you work, you got your home, and then you got like maybe like a nice restaurant or something, but there's always like a space you emanate to that keeps you kind of like that you go back to and you miss. And with VR, it's so dynamic and diverse that if you find the PC worlds, you find people your own age, you can like hang out and talk with really cool people you would never meet, especially if you're in some of these middle of nowhere towns. And that's why VR is so popular with the LGBTQ plus community, because they can be in the most racist, heinous town in the world, and they still have family in VR, and they come in and they hang out, and everyone's loving and accepting, and they'll talk about stuff, and if they're having issues they can talk it out and like build build each other up emotionally and make each other stronger, where like you don't get, it's just such a like you find people faster in VR. Like you find people you associate with and that you like have the same similar blueprint or similar archetype with very quickly in VR. Especially a couple hundred hours, you'll probably find someone that's like really, really super cool.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I like
And certainly,
I-
I feel. Oh, go on.
So in the long run, VR is not. I don't think there's no threat there. There's zero threat
Oh, shit.
whatsoever.
And considering what you
It's
said,
not a gimmick.
is it
It's not a
because
3D
of,
TV.
like even if, let's say, we didn't have any new headsets, like Pico didn't come out,
Yeah.
Pico 4 didn't come out, the Quest 3 won't come out, for another, like, let's say 3 years, a 3-year lull, still VR would survive
Yeah.
because it's just like a so great new experience.
I think it'll survive, yeah. And that being said, I have a lot of friends who are just on desktop. Not a lot, but I have some friends that are just on desktop because they don't like being vulnerable. Like, because like when you're in VR, you feel more vulnerable.
Yeah.
So there's some like I have people that only go on desktop because it elevates their social stature to a more like kind of a bigger presence. But I think the actual community of VR chat is huge, and I think the staying power is only going to bring more people in. And I know even with some of my like Twitch friends or some of my people, I'm always like, hey, we're having a party in my map tonight. Come hang out. Come to my map. Come hang out. We'll have fun. We'll chat. There'll be music on. Even if you're on desktop, come hang out. You know, because like the social experience is just so immense that it's not. You know, whether people want to play the next Bone Labs game or not, that doesn't mean anything. But the actual VR like metaverse type community thing is real, and you know, Zuckerberg bet on it, but like the investors like pulled away because like, oh, you know, some of these games are something. But like creating worlds, creating communities, creating friendships, creating groups is unparalleled. It is unparalleled. So it's not going anywhere. You know, once people get over like me, my initial chess phase where I'm in playing chess with a Quest on, and then they're like, oh, come to the pug or go here, check this out, and then you're like, whoa, and then you meet people, and then you're like stuck.
Yeah.
And then you're continuing on. You know, like you just continue on. So
I think it's always just so disappointing, I think, for people. So I have a lot of friends that have VR headsets, but they don't play this game and don't play a lot of social VR games. And I always find it so disappointing because I really feel like this is a great way to connect with people that you've never met in real life, right? So say Discord friends or online friends. And also it's such an exciting place to be in because you meet people that you would never otherwise consider meeting. Like I met Freak, who I would never normally interact with for sure, because, you know, he's a crypto bro.
No, Bitcoin.
Okay, a Bitcoin bro. But like, you know, or met Crim, or indeed all my other friends as well. Certainly, you also see a lot of like crazy things, right? Avatars that can do sort of amazing things, or, you know, crazy worlds, or great sort of worlds that you sort of move through that you don't ever like sit down and chat, not chill worlds, but like crazy sort of spectacle worlds. Yeah, I just find it, I don't know, a little bit disappointing that some of my closer friends or real life friends, or indeed my closer online friends, just never interact with social VR games, and they always wait for the next Bone Labs or they wait for the next Alex without knowing that there's such a interesting world here. And I think part of that's just because VR chat's a little bit creepy, right? You know, everyone's an anime girl, everyone's a furry.
Are you like
these?
You like my assets?
I like these, but like obviously I'm, you know, degenerate enough to be a trusted. I mean, sorry, we're all degenerate enough to be trusted users here, so it is what it is.
Yeah,
I think. Sorry, go ahead, Freak.
I was just gonna say, like, it wasn't. I was gonna ask basically, like, what if VR chat didn't exist? Would the VR market survive? I was gonna that was the question I was gonna ask, but then I realized even if VR chat didn't exist, something will have existed to facilitate social interactions between people in VR. So yeah,
there's always a lighthouse.
Yeah.
And there's always a city.
There's always moths to the flame.
Yeah.
So like I've had like Some of the worlds are just like magical. Like I remember the first time going to the Edge. I've had so many memories in VR that like last like the first time you go to the Edge and you're in this like kind of EDM thing where there's like, you know, particles spinning around you and you're looking around and the floor falls out and you're sitting next to your friends and the music's kicking in. It's just a really, if you guys haven't been to the map The Edge, go there with PC VR, get away from the quest worlds. The quest worlds are absolutely toxic. There are some good quests. You know, I am friends with some of the bigger quest world map developers, and they you know, they do good work and optimization is great and all that. And I appreciate that, but there is like a level of getting away from the degenerate kids running around yelling racist stuff. Like I have friends borrowed their, you know, brother's headset, and I'm like, hey, come hang out in VR. They jumped into the, you know, the Black Cat, and they'll never come in VR again. They'll never see them again after being in VR. Like, you know, like sexually harassed, like, you know, groped, just like within 10 seconds, like some 12-year-old's grabbing her boobs. So it's like you got to get away from all that as fast as you can. There should be like age limits. There should be stuff on to like get people out of, you know, I have nothing against the Black Cat. Like I know Spooky's really nice, very, very, very nice person, and you know, good work. It's not their fault, you know, that like all this stuff ends up happening. But like the initial experience is just like you go in, you get a bunch of 12-year-olds running up to you trying to grab your boobs or something, or messing with your avatar. Oh, you have a girl voice, and they're like, all of a sudden they're like, you know, saying horrible things to you. So it's like that. The initial impression of that, people will never come. Like they'll never come back. Like a lot of them.
Look, if you want to
convincing your friend, there's a different world. Yeah.
If you want to touch somebody's boobs, if you want to touch somebody's, you don't just go and touch it. No, you go to like, hey, I want to see if like how good your boob physics are. Can I try them?
I want to test your physics. No.
Consent is
Yeah, good consent.
That's a start.
Consent.
I mean, if you're 12 and you're offering consent, obviously no consent for a 12-year-old, but still.
Yeah.
Or sorry,
Don't
no
be a
consent.
12-year-old.
Yeah.
Just never be 12.
Don't be 12.
Don't be cool.
I know, it's just tricky. It's just tricky because like imagine try to convince someone that like, hey, this isn't VRChat. There's like literally EDM worlds. There's like, you know, worlds that are all like, you know, adult stuff. Yeah. So like try to convince someone that's like, oh, you saw that? Yeah. Now like come check out this map or come check out some of the more advanced maps and with like more mature communities. It's like. It's gonna be really. You gotta like really be like, hey, no, I swear, it's like this. You know, it's not. I'm not hanging out with 12-year-olds in the Black Cat all day. You know, like I'm not a weirdo. You know, there is other layers to this situation. So,
and this is why I believe all VRChat devs should be required to spend at least 1 hour a week in a public Black Cat session.
Public, yeah.
They should be. They just should be.
I mean,
right, and they need to be in anonymous accounts.
Honestly,
that's probably a good idea for us.
How I see it is like, I mean, I think the best way would be like if you're right now in VRChat and you're enjoying it, and you want more people to come in, like your friends or whatever. Don't tell them like, hey, whenever you get the time, just hop in and check it out. No, go with them to like moderate the shit out of their experience.
Yeah, 100%.
Show them the magic that is VRChat, not show them the
seduce them with the beautiful worlds and cool people.
A week or two later, then show them the shit, but not initially.
Like if you're feeling chaotic right now, check this freak show out and take on the Black Cat.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Start your N-word meter. Let's see how many times we hear the N-word in a 20-minute spam. Like 100 plus. Brutal.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean,
I avoid the most toxic times of VR though because of when I play. But yeah, I don't tend to get that many N-words. I still get a couple of them for sure.
Just depends on the day or the moon, whether the moon's full or what, or how much Kool-Aid.
That's true.
How much Kool-Aid sale or sugar drink sales are up that month.
Speaking of the time of day, the most toxic times for me, like I've seen in the Black Cat, I mean, or like the Grey Pug, is when it becomes, I don't know, like 3 to 6 a.m. in my time, because that's when the Americans wake up.
American. If you go to a European lobby, you're gonna have a much better time than an American one.
Yeah, I mean, there are cool Americans, but it's equal amounts of good and bad. But when it comes to Americans waking up,
there are a lot of racist Europeans, though. I found like crazy, like neo-fascist Europeans.
I mean, like when
I
I
see a lot of Finnish people, just like a lot of Finnish people in general, weird.
yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, when I bring up like
Nothing
sexism
against
or
Finnish
racism,
people. It's just that it's statistically strange that I keep meeting so many of them when there are only 5 million of them in total. You know. Anyway.
yeah, when I mean about that, when I bring up like sexism or racism, like actually saying whatever I want regarding these topics, I do it in a vein of comedy, not in a vein of seriousness. Like nobody would get hurt unless they do it and then they mute you and that's it. But yeah, I mean, there are bad apples in the game, and yeah, you use the great magical button called block or mute. Yeah.
Speaking of bad apples, our co-host has still not woken up. Goddamn.
How many times are you gonna mention him?
Yeah, as many times as it bloody takes for him to wake up. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna shame him into never being late again. All right, okay.
Yeah. Speaking of, yeah. So since you made this world, is pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
So like, how's
Thank you.
So you said you want to like make it like it's the pug killer as I've heard.
I'd like to kill the pug eventually, yeah, if I can.
Yeah, it's so basically like, how did the idea of wanting you to kill the bug and the process of creating this world was like?
So like this world was based off a dream. Like a lot of my ideas, like I had dreams, whether it was like 10 years ago or something, and it was just like a really cool space. And then like I got like really hyper fixated on wanting to recreate to see if I could do it, like recreate certain dreams or sections of my dream. But in my dream, it was very unidimensional, and it was really hard for me to actually like, feel the space. So like the actual dream got diverted a little bit. Though the one section over there with the window and the two levels, that's kind of like, that was the initial concept of my dream. But it was a little bit more like hyper realistic and stuff, and it had like a lot more like levels to it. And in some ways, this turned out better than so I didn't want to limit myself to my dream. My dream was like super cool and it was very memorable. And I figured like if I could make something memorable or like an imprint that in people's memories that they'd really appreciate and they would never forget, I felt like that was an important thing. So I kind of like messed around with some shapes in Maya, and then I like iterated, and then I messed around with some more, and then I kind of like did slow, and then I moved it into Engine, and then I got in Engine, and I'd walk around, and I'd sit everywhere. So like my initial like process is very slow when I design a world. Like I'll always go and look at things from weird angles or angles you would never expect someone to look from, and I try to make things look good from every angle, like appealing from every angle, like rules of thirds implemented. The coziness factor, even things you can't see but you feel. So like when you're in a world, in desktop, you don't care what's behind you, but when you're in a world in VR, your sense of what's above you and what's like behind you and beside you is very important. So you have to like get in the world, you got to feel the world, you got to like do you got to create a vibe, create an atmosphere. It can't be too cold. It has to be warm. This is a big map with like lots of glass windows. So in order for me to make this warm, I got like 3 fireplaces. I've got lots of nice warm lighting. I've got like, cozy kind of like alcove type things. So it was a bit of a battle to get it all nice and looking pretty good. And this is my first maps. Like traditionally, I did like concept design for like I did some like aerospace startups type stuff for like CubeSats and stuff, like 3D just concept designs and stuff. And I thought like I'm like I don't want to get pulled into like the military industrial complex. I don't want to get I'm not saying I could or anything, but I don't want to get like pulled into like like I do a lot of spaceships and stuff. So I had people talking to me about those, and I'm like I don't want to do like I'm civilian. I don't want to like be in charge of like doing weaponizing anything or doing anything. So I'm like, well, what can I do? So I figured I'd just like start like doing something I enjoy, which is just making maps and making like cool spaces and like creating worlds and atmospheres and memories and honestly, just like watching people explore my map is like one of the greatest things ever. And I had like this weird like moment the other day where I was just sitting over at the bar and I was just like looking at like 30 something people on my map, and I'm like, this is like I had this warm feeling I haven't felt in a while kind of like come over me, which was like such a like a really cool feeling. And it's like, it is just, and the last time I had that, I think I was at a skate park when I was like 18 years old or like 15 years old, sitting on top of the skate park and with all the lighting and everything. And it was like, and like at nighttime. And I think it was just a really, really cool feeling. And I'm like, this is kind of where I want to be right now. And this is a good thing. And I got to keep doing this. And it's really hard because people always get lost or like, you know, I don't really make a living doing this yet, but I'm hoping like somehow I can. But people always get lost in like, you know, what do I want to do? Where should I be? What should I do? Should I do something meaningful? Should I do something, you know, like that helps humanity? And I think in my own way, I think making cool maps or making cool art, or like I've got my moon based pictures in here. You can see like some concept designs I have for like I want to put on the moon and stuff. So there's always a way to influence people without being directly involved. And I think direct involvement oftentimes is a very strategic thing. And I think like influencing, you know, for the betterment of humanity can be done in many different ways. You don't necessarily have to be, you know, neck deep in a project or something. I think like just inspiring people to do better, inspiring people to like to get better, to be a better person. Like I think that's way more beneficial than like trying to take the whole load on yourself and trying to like, you know, how am I going to save the world, or how am I going to do this and this, or how am I going to, you know, do something cool or imaginative, or, you know, I think like, you know, the you know, the famous movie people, like there's a lot of really cool people who inspired people to get where humanity is today. You know, we're a collective community. We do collective community things. And inspiration comes in many different forms. You don't necessarily have to like, you know, dive headfirst into the deep end. But you know.
So
anyway, that's a long explanation, but
no, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's cool. I think so. From what I heard, basically right now, it's you didn't want to mingle with like. Let's say potentially hurting the world, and that's why you started doing this, something you enjoy, and from it let's say, or because of it, you found a good reason while doing it, which is to help people connect and, you know, just enjoy themselves. That's what I heard so far, like in summary. Is that correct?
Yeah, inspire people to like, to, you know, that like VRChat is bigger than, you know, bigger than some of these other things. Do some like cool projects. And I always like this, people who do like cool futuristic things, or they try to put their own layer, like creative things, like don't copy paste things, create something like generally unique and creative, you know. Like this is copy pasted from the Pug. We're sitting here and like this setup here is copy pasted from the Pug. But in general, my map is like mostly unique. Like there's not many areas you can go on my map and feel like, well, I've seen this before, or this is like a copy paste. Like it's all, I did it in such like a way, like a build up way, where it was, I think it would be kind of hard to copy certain things, like just the way I design things. It's kind of like AI, where I just do like iterations, you know, lots and lots of little small iterations, and then eventually it builds into something bigger. But you know, I'm obviously like, you know, it's a process, and I'd like to think I'm getting better at it, and I'm pretty okay at it. But yeah, so where am I going with this? I think like VRChat gives people the opportunity to like test bench a lot of ideas, a lot of concepts, a lot of spaces. You want to build your future home, you want to build your like dream home, download Blender, it's free. Start. And if you're passionate about it enough, you'll build the best goddamn home on the planet, and everyone will be like, oh my god, this is like modern art, this is the coolest thing ever. And I still have dreams in my head of like spaces that I want to recreate that were so magical in my dream that I just want to share those with people, and hopefully I can, you know, and hopefully I'm able to for a long time. You know, I'm getting older now, but I still have probably 20 good years left of map creating, as long as I do some cardio and keep up a little bit.
Then you probably want to start basically learning how to lucid dream, so you can have better figuring out how to like import your dreams into reality. But aside from that, you said this is like a copy from the Great Pug, like a section of it, and I see what you're talking about. But however, I mean, it's not a copy. I mean, there are definitely a lot of differences, even in style, mood, all of that. The only thing that I'd say like is it would remind me of the Great Pug is just like the table and the fire, but that's about it.
Yeah, the layout. So I took the layout because in the pug, like I noticed it's a good community space. You got like 4 independent chairs, and then you got like a community chair. So you'll get kind of the lone wolves. They'll kind of sit on the independent chairs and wait for people to come talk to them. Whereas the community chair is more kind of like people that like to mingle and hang out and are closer, kind of like more open people. So it's kind of an introverted area in which has a high social capacity. So I tend to like overthink things. And I was sitting in the pug one day, and I'm like, you know what? I got space for this. Let's make it happen. I really like this. I usually hang out in the roost. If you ever go in the pug, you might just see me sitting there lonely dude style sometime in the roost, because I just like I like just sitting up there and just like relaxing sometimes and just seeing like who comes my way and who talks to me, because I've met
before, I think.
Yeah.
Just like sometimes I'm not someone you just see some random guy sitting there by himself. Just
that's probably me. So.
I mean,
I'll be on my YouTube or something.
The reason why I think, the roost is kind of magical in a sense, because down like in the first floor, it's kind of hit or miss, but generally chaotic. But if you just go up, you like the last floor on the roost, it's like you find a guy and it's weird. It's like introverts trying to connect, and it happens automatically. Like how what's happening?
Yeah,
it's magical.
It's easy mode. Yeah. And when the pug dies, come here and sit here and try to do it here, because I think this will be a good, maybe a good spot.
Yeah, I noticed there's a mirror over there. That's already improvement from the roost.
Oh yeah, very important. Very important.
The mirror is important. But okay,
that was your suggestion, Freak. The mirrors by the fireplace.
No,
that was actually...
look, this player pickup is great. All right.
How dare you? Yeah, that turns off at 15. Once 15 people are in the instance, it goes into like party mode. So some of the features turn off. But
wait.
Join, you'll get.
Is this thing? Wait, are you? Okay, now hold me.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold me. Okay, now let's go up. Okay, let's stop.
Working as intended. Yeah.
Nice.
No, you've been yeeted before, right? Like you can get yeeted so hard on this map that when you respawn, for some reason the velocity stays, and so you just get stuck in the ceiling for a while until you stop moving and fall down.
Yeah. Oh, if you respawn,
Frosty's got like big abbies.
Yeah, and if you respawn while in that like trajectory, you'll just like shoot up through the ceiling and get stuck.
Oh, it's great. It's the best feature. I don't know if it's intentional, but it's the best feature.
Don't fix it.
Yeah, sometimes you'll be stuck to the ceiling in the corner, because like Frosty will get in his big avy and he'll try to throw you over the sky, because we throw each other over the sky map in this. It's like one of our favorite things to do. We'll go out in the back balcony and we'll try to like yeet each other over the sky map, and it's actually quite terrifying the first couple times, and after that it's still a little scary, but
yeah. Like, oh, I'm gonna meet Allah.
If you get a vertigo, you should definitely do this. It's good. It's good for vertigo. You know, you stop feeling vertigo.
Yeah, work on your vertigo.
Don't do that.
But it's well, I guess the last question would be, and regarding this is, like, from when you started trying to figure out how to make like worlds for VRChat. I know like you have like the bias here, or like the prerequisite before you started making models is you probably made like models in your previous job, but the question is intended to figure out is if someone who didn't do anything, like he didn't do modeling, didn't do graphics and whatever, from there to making something like this, like what's the educational processing time, let's say?
Okay, so Blender's not too bad. So like Blender, you can make a box, you can apply you apply your meshes to it, your collision meshes. You do some light baking. I use a program called Bakery to get my light maps a little bit nicer. It allows me to GPU bake, which cuts down the time, experimental GPU baking. Once you figure out a couple of the basic things, it's really not too bad. I'm very slow. Like I'm a very slow learner, but when I learn things, I learn it quite well, like at a very, very high level. But for me to get like up to speed takes a long time. So I'm 36 years old right now. It took me a long time because I would get like overwhelmed and I quit. Nobody helped me at any point in my life for not until like like a couple of months ago, I started talking to some of the bigger map makers, and they try to help me, or the VRChat staff would try to help me like fix a broken map or scripts that are broken. And it was just it was a kind of a battle. But if you want to get into like the basic VRChat map making, like you can buy prefab assets. If you can create a box and you learn how to use bakery and move some light probes around and bake the map, and then bake the reflection probe so things have specularity, it happens pretty quick. It's not necessarily as easy as dragging and dropping stuff, but like if you're like a semi-intelligent individual, you can probably figure it out in like a couple days. I think you could get like a very basic map working in VRChat. I think in a lot of ways it's easier than avatar creation. But the initial problem happens when you're like exporting the FBX. Like if you want to, I guess UV mapping's a bit intense too. So it's a bit of a process, but like I think like any like person that's kind of keen could figure it out fairly quickly.
How long?
It's not overtly difficult.
How long did it take you to get to this point on this world?
In my life?
No, not
I took
like,
a lot of years
from when you initially started this world till now.
Okay, so this is probably 8 or 9 months of just on and off, and I probably took a 2-month break. And that's learning. And there was like a month where I was probably just messing around with broken scripts and broken like prefabs and stuff.
Yeah.
And this is a big map. This is a big map. This is a very big map. So like you could do it. You could do a smaller little house map or something, and in probably a month or two.
Yeah, just
so
like,
if you look at my water world, I made water world. Yeah. So after you learn the basics, like water world, I blocked out in 2 or 3 days, like almost completely done, 2 or 3 days. But that's like but to get to that took a while. So
yeah,
it takes a bit of time, but if you're passionate about it, and I think like people like, especially like with me, like I enjoy creating things. I enjoy creating spaces. Like I could live in like a float tank and just create. Like it's kind of a hopefully my AI overlords don't hear me, but like at some point I could probably live in some sort of like float tank and like just create things and just be kind of happy. And it's kind of like the psychology of that is kind of like, it's kind of a detached psychology from like reality. Like, like obviously you want to experience life and stuff like that, but I'm very like very keen on just making things and stuff, and it's kind of a weird thing, but
yeah. Okay. All right, Graf Frosty, you got any question for your buddy here regarding this world? Don't you want to make a world, Frosty?
Not really. I don't know.
Don't you want to make a spaghetti
I don't
world?
really get dreams, which sounds weird. What?
Don't you want to make a spaghetti world?
What? No. Only Spaghetto Man has that power. No. No, I don't know. It'll depend on what I really experience, I guess. In general, I'm pretty happy experiencing cool worlds.
What's your favorite world?
It's King Crimson.
No. Like honestly, like what's your? Like, it's probably not this one.
I don't know. I don't really. Honestly, let me just double check. Hang on. Let me just look at.
Okay, I want to say, how about the segmented? Like, what's your favorite hanging out world versus favorite experience world, and favorite I don't know, something else, ERP world?
This will be cool.
I think my favorite experience world will have to be it's an unlisted world that you can only get to if you do a specific if you go to a world and push a key on your keyboard. And it looks super cool, and that's why, and also it being a unlisted world is kind of cool. In terms of a hanging out world, I'll be honest, it just depends on where the people are, honestly. Like, if my friends are in sort of in CRiMSOM, I'll come hang out in CRiMSOM. If my friends are in the pug, I'll hang out at the pug. I don't really care about the world, honestly, in terms of hanging out worlds.
Yeah. I found that is like a very realistic thing. It's more the people than the world in a lot of cases, but in many cases, and I suppose that's why the pug can maintain, even though there are probably some better worlds out there.
Even though it looks not great yet.
I mean, it's okay. Like, don't get me, Pung's okay, but it's just not great.
I do think that a word plays a part in terms of where people hang out. I mean, there's a reason why there's like specific parts in with like you and your friend group in real life that go and hang
the
out.
world geometry
Yeah.
lends itself to different groups of people gathering in different places. Like I'm just gonna use the pug as an example because there's so many weird places in the pug. Like the second floor is usually empty unless someone's like playing music or something.
Yeah.
And then the first floor, there are like two places. It's either people in seats or people in that like back area where the crazy conversations happen. Or you know, people, or like the cults like to gather, like the axolotl cult likes to gather by the bins because I don't know. And there's the roosts where you either meet
the thin mirror
cool people or you meet the craziest, or you just meet like the craziest people. Like I met this guy who was just sitting there by himself and he just started talking about conspiracy theory after conspiracy theory after conspiracy theory, and it was horrible. Just like the things he believed in were so absurd.
Tall avatar, American, kind of drunk, wasted dude.
The small?
Oh,
I have no clue, but he's like an e-boy all the time, white hair.
Oh no,
he's like
okay,
a spiritualist, you know, that stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's about where the people are for me, and certainly there are worlds I prefer to hang out in. But in general, it doesn't really matter. And I think part of it as well is a lot of people care about performance when they choose a world.
Yeah.
I don't have to. I have the luxury of not caring about that. But
okay, wait.
Yeah, certainly some of my friends can't go to certain worlds. So.
Let me rephrase it differently. Let's say all of your friends just like, I'm not gonna come back to VRChat and you want to make new VRChat friends. Which world would you just like stay idle in to create new friendships?
That's so tough. It would just be whatever is the most popular world, honestly. At that season, at that moment.
It wouldn't be Quest though. It wouldn't be Quest World.
Yeah, it would be the most popular PC world. Yeah. Whatever that is, that season.
That's my thing.
Because I want to meet. Yeah.
Go for it.
No. Please. Yeah. I just.
Okay, so
latency.
So like for me, like it would be like, so for every pug you go to find like someone that like you get along with like on a good level, because I can get along with almost anyone, but like for me to have like a good connection with someone, they have to be I'm kind of strange and like, I don't know, spectrum-y a little bit. So I end up like getting along with, I find like other people, like eccentric people, I end up getting along with a little bit. And perhaps that's why I'm friends with Frosty. So typically, like, so I think for every like black cat, like you go to like 100 black cats and it would equal like one pug, or there's like some sort of like farming mechanism for farming friends or farming like people that like you have similar. But it's weird with me because sometimes I'll like just hate the person, or I'll I won't like the person, we'll like rub each other the wrong way initially, and then I'll end up like having a really good, if I just like don't be a dick and don't snap and or whatever, I'll end up like having a really like, oftentimes those people are like really nice people too. They're just like, it's just happenstance kind of like landed you both in a weird conversation at the time or something where like you weren't seeing eye to eye, or oftentimes if you persevere, there's past initial impressions, or there is like a lot of like redeeming factors and stuff, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's pretty interesting that, I mean, I don't think I've experienced any, even in real life, like any platform or just talking at the physical place in real life where you just sit, suddenly someone comes over and they might not say anything initially, but suddenly you're talking about, hey, how's your day, to here's my whole life story and all my traumas, to hey, what's up with God, eh?
The classic immediate trauma dump. Yeah.
Yeah, but
religion,
I'm sure both of you experienced it. You just like sit by the mirror. You meet one person and they're like, oh yeah, this happened. Yeah, it's falling apart. Yeah, I'm like, dude, I don't get it.
There's the thing with VRChat is like a lot of people on VRChat are mentally ill, like a lot.
Yeah.
And VRChat doesn't necessarily help them, especially like, you know, not having its own. I mean, unless you're like giving lap dances, you're not, or selling like avatars, you're not going to make much money or do anything in VR chat. So like living in the VR space is impossible, and it's only going to like make your problems worse. So like a lot of alcoholism, there's a lot of mentally ill people, there's a lot of like professionals, and a lot of like really cool like a lot of my friends are like they're kind of established, they have jobs, you know, they're usually around my age, which is like 27 to 36 or whatever. And you know, some of them are just like, you know, a lot of LGBTQ plus, like a lot of furry friends. A lot of my friends are furries. Probably 80% of my friends are furries, and they all kind of like they're all kind of professionals in a sense. We don't have too many young people still finding their way in our group, which is nice. But it is tough. Like if you're a young person and you're hooked on VR or you're in VR, like it's going to be really, really tricky for you. And it's, and I feel for a lot of these people because they end up like, you know, trauma dumping, or they'll have like a nervous breakdown, or they'll just be getting just absolutely drunk on VRChat, and they're depressed and they can't, you know, survive in the real world. And they got like, you know, they're still living with their parents, hopefully. And it's just like, it's a tricky situation because it does exacerbate mental illness, but it also can help people. Like if you find a good friend group, people can help you get like, you know, you're set in the right direction, or like say, hey, it's time now, you got to go like pay for your own, you know, stuff, or like, you know, stuff like that. Because we do try to like help out, you know, we do try to help out people when we can, but obviously just handing money to people or like it's not the answer. You want to get people like, you know, motivated, and you want to get people like, you know, over their anxiety and, you know, over their social inhibition, you know, all their stuff to the point where they can go out and get a job in the real world. Because like VR, you can't get a job in VR right now. Like, you know, like you could be, unless you're selling like high-end female avatar stuff or like a very niche things like or services, like you're not, it's just a side hustle for a lot of for the vast majority of people.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to work in VR, right? I'd love to be able to do something in VR, but I think it's very difficult. Hey, Raid Shadow Legends sponsor us. No, I'm kidding. Look, I'll sell out through mobile game. I don't respect them, but I'll sell out to them for money.
I will blow my robot brains out right now.
It's just tough making money in VR. And suddenly I think drinking in VR, I know people do it a lot. I really wish people would stop. It's just not healthy drinking by yourself at home with a fucking TV strapped to your face with virtual friends telling you to drink more. That can't be good for you.
Yeah. Every night is party night. Every night is bar night.
Every night is party night. Yeah.
Don't drink. Mm-hmm. Don't smoke. I mean, don't smoke. Well, don't smoke cigarettes. And also like, don't do drugs in VR. Like, because if you're in VR and you're dilating your pupils, you're gonna do serious ocular damage. Like serious. So don't do that. Like, it's your dilated pupils with a Pimax on your head. It'd be like, it would toast your brain right through the.
Complete death. Yeah.
I mean, even though that, like, people should get like professional help if they have issues. I definitely see that, you know, and I've experienced it myself. VRChat definitely help. While it does amplify your current problems and some segments, let's say, for example, drinking or whatever, it does, however, help a lot of people because of the connections made with others. Help you with some of the issues you may have from mental,
counseling type stuff,
emotional, even sometimes financial. And it just, I mean, for me at least, it made me into a stronger, better person in some ways. And I've definitely, in terms of other people, talked with a lot of people, at least in my opinion, help them out, like discuss their issues, and they definitely improved. And I think I'm hoping that I prevented one, at least, because I talked with a few in terms of preventing them from killing themselves. So it's kind of like heavy, like super extremely heavy, but hey, like, you know, hopefully I helped them out.
You're laughing. I'm sorry.
It's
okay. How do you and Snow keep meeting these suicidal people? I've never met a suicidal person. Yeah, I think I'm
maybe
just too
because
mean
you're treating people like dogs. Like
I think I've said
I've
this
helped
right.
quite a few people out in VRChat, like quite a few.
That's great. I've never
I'd like to
met
think
a
I helped them
single
out and I
person
didn't
who
make their
told
life
me.
worse, but I definitely, I think I've helped some people.
Yeah.
Because like when I was 22, I was a mess. I was like suicidal and alcoholic and all that stuff. So like I went through it, and just the fact that I'm still alive, I think like I can just explain my story to some people. I think it helps them like just like realize that like, hey, you know, what you're dealing with right now is temporary. Like your emotions are temporary. You can like it's fixable, and I think like that is enough. You know, like life's short as it is, and the older you get, you realize, God, like life is like it's short, like it's long, but like the older you get, it gets faster and faster and faster, and like, you know, I was like I'm a transhumanist. I wish I could live as long as I can. I stopped drinking, I stopped smoking, I try to get some exercise. I do VRChat not too much, but like. It's hard to explain that to someone who's suicidal. Like, hey, like, you know what? Like, there's a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of like a magic that can happen. You know, like what you're experiencing right now is temporary. Things can get better. You know, all the stuff you're reading on the internet, it's not necessarily as bad as you think it is. Your brain, there's a lot of it's in your brain. So, yeah, you really got to like help people where you can. And some people are like, you know, you can't help, or some people you just got to get away from. But like a vast majority of the people, like you can just give them they don't need much. They just need a little bit of. Just a couple things, you know, a couple little like, you know, words of wisdom, and it can really like, because like they just sit alone in the dark and drink, and they're depressed, and they listen to, you know, 9 Inch Nails or just sad music and spiral to the point where they're just like they don't care anymore, and they're like they just, you know, they've created this, they're happy in the misery they've created. And it's really hard to get, like, because like for some people it's comforting. Sadness is comforting for some people because it's something. When you feel nothing, like oftentimes like sadness is like your go-to, because it's like, hey, I can feel something. But you gotta snap them out of it. You gotta like you get rid of the, you know, the depressive jokes and all this stuff, and you gotta be like, hey, you know what? Don't listen to, if you're impressionable, don't listen to sad music with like bad lyrics. Listen to like, you know, like instrumental, or listen to something like electronic music. That way you're not creating this psychosis in your head that's driving you in a singular direction towards the ground, you know. So
or, you know, power metal, where it's about I don't know, fucking fighting things.
Dragons.
It's just about fighting things, man. Dragons and fire and flames, you know.
Longest fucking time ago.
That's great. No, we're not doing that. No. I'm not. None of us. I cannot play that tier of guitar. All right.
Okay. Moving on.
I just.
Well, not moving on.
Is it weird that I feel like I'm missing out on meeting people that want to. That sounds really bad to say. I've just never met a person that's told me, and I feel like I've like missed out. Either way, right? If there's anyone listening, you know, you want to off yourselves, right? Finish Elden Ring and then off yourselves. It's worth it. Don't off yourselves, obviously. Elden Ring teaches perseverance.
Or self-defeat. I don't know. Who the hell designs a game with a release roll mechanic? That game is so. Oh my god, that game is so weird. Yeah, I want to know. I don't want to roll till I release it, and I want to queue up my moves like that. Elden Ring is.
Movement queuing is so good though. It's the best. Input queuing is the best feature. It's not. I agree that
imagine playing a shmup where I had to like pre-fire my commands by like 20, 30 milliseconds, like 120 milliseconds. Like no, thank you. Not doing that.
Honestly, that's one of the things I didn't like. I roll, then I click, but I change my mind while the animation roll is happening.
It's about committing, all right?
No.
It's about commitment, right?
This is a game. Screw commitment.
Right?
Oh my God. Yeah, bad hitboxes, like getting hitboxed on weird angles.
Look, someone took 50 tries to beat Millennia, all right? I'm kidding.
That's commitment. No. That's me commitment, not mechanic commitment.
Yeah. Right, but it teaches you perseverance and commitment.
Elden Ring needs to update their control scheme. Like I want a proper like control scheme in Elden Ring if they're gonna do it. I like the game, I like the content, I like the bosses, like everything they did, but I think the control scheme is so limiting. Like get into like don't use like Demon Souls mechanics from like 16 years ago.
I mean, it is one-to-one Demon Souls. It's a little bit faster. But that's about it. Yeah.
Demon Souls, like update, innovate. Like it's not like an FPS.
Look,
it's decent, but it's not good. Amazing.
Speaking of fantasy worlds,
So we're transitioning to Valheim.
No, before that, but I want to mention like if at some point like this channel makes money and I'd hire an editor, I'll be like, look, I'll give you a 1 month long project where you gather all of the segments from each episode of this podcast where Elden Ring is mentioned and make it into a video. Like at this point, every other episode is
Elden Ring.
The
And I love to hate
mandatory
Elden Ring.
compulsory Elden Ring section is important, all right?
I refunded Elden Ring, Frosty. I want you to know that I refunded it day one because it was so broken
Gasp.
and buggy, and they couldn't even roll.
Yeah, but you bought it again. You bought it. You pay for it
I
twice.
bought it again when the co-op came out, and I played co-op with my friends because it made the game bearable on on an actual somewhat bearable.
You see.
Look,
People
I
like
had
co-op.
no issues with the game because I knew the secret. All right, in single player, all you do is you roll left, and then everything misses you. It's great.
Look. People like
That's all
co-op.
true.
They're not a pussy for playing co-op.
Look,
Put a
I
proper
do
co-op
agree
in
that
there,
Dark Souls co-op is kind of shit. All right, I love
the worst.
all the Souls games, but like Miyazaki, can we get a proper co-op game, please?
I had my
Like, it's
brother
not that
over for
hard to
Christmas.
program.
We're trying to play through Dark Souls the normal way, and it was misery. It was like, oh my god, now we got to beat it with you. Oh, now I got to beat it with him. Now I gotta
Yeah,
beat it with you. It's
you
like,
gotta beat it
why?
with each person. You gotta put down
Why?
your stupid soapstone.
Make a hybrid of Elden Ring, and then have like Diablo 2 itemization in it, where like you don't have to like open up half the map before you find an item you like enjoy using. Then the game will be good. But like it's just it just doesn't. It's just not ideal right now. It's like, oh, I got to go look up a map and find an item I like. It's like no, until then you're playing a linear
It's about
character progression
commitment.
game.
It's about persevering
It's
through
just
the game. with
it's
the
an
life you don't
updated,
like.
overrated,
It's beautiful.
very nicely done, very nice world content, but way overrated.
Look, you may
So
say it's overrated, but like it beat God of War Ragnarok. That's all I'm saying. All right.
So CRiMSOM, why is
I will never
Valheim
let
better
the
than
fact that
Elden
I won
Ring?
Game of the Year.
Okay, well, Valheim has its share of issues, but Valheim's a very pure game. Valheim reminds me of the games like when I was a kid, like just old school. Everything you get, you earn. Aside from portals, like whatever you do in that game, you damn well earned it. Like that's like what you did. You moved that rock there, you moved the ore there, you built that. If your house gets invaded by trolls and smashed to the ground, well then that's what happened. It does have some broken mechanics. Like the combat system is a little bit primitive in the sense that like if you're trying to attack a dog or something or a wolf on a hill, sometimes like you'll just miss every hit and then you'll like want to like smash your keyboard and stuff. But in general, it's just a simpler, better, more of a game, where it's less of a cinematic experience, less of a less bullshit. It's just a very pure experience, and I find it's a very pure experience. I don't got to worry about like dodge rolling and letting off buttons and like in enemy animations like being outside their like sphere of influence and stuff. Like I just find it like very. And honestly, if you grind that game with some friends, it's super fun. Quests like you do your own thing, dedicated server. It has like proper multiplayer. Oh, go figure. I like multiplayer games, Frosty. It has proper multiplayer. The developer's not like, hey, go F yourself. Here, you want multiplayer? Go F yourself. We do things uniquely over here. No, we do things. No, we're artistic. We do things uniquely. We're not. Oh, you want something that makes sense?
Just doesn't know how to
don't worry about
implement
it.
netcode, man. I don't think it's about that.
Just brutal. I don't know what the real issue is.
One of the core features of all the Souls games, in terms of melee combat PvP, is something called Phantom Range, and that's because it's a netcode bug that they never fix from Demon's Souls.
Yeah.
I think it's just they don't
Interpolation's
know how
hard
to
to deal
implement
with.
netcode.
It's hard to deal with interpolation, especially when you're dealing with like momentum based or like movement controls and stuff. It took Counter-Strike a long time to figure out how interpolation works on that code end, and it was like when they figured it out, it was like the best, most competitive FPS on the internet at the time. But it took them a long time for even the 1.6 to get proper like interpolation, and the hitboxes used to trail like a full like one or two characters depended on your latency, and then they did some interpolation, in which case everything was more accurate. And it's that being said, the worst netcode in any video game today is Valorant. Valorant has the worst netcode, and then it's funny because that company prides themselves on having the best. Well, it has your bullets will teleport in time. Like you literally snapshot and your bullet will go back in time. That is the worst.
God damn.
But your average pleb will never know that because they're too new. They don't have Quake tattoos like me. They're not an elitist psychopath. They're just sitting there collecting goddamn guns. Like, when is the cash shop
I would
open
never
today?
notice.
I need to. Yeah, God, state of gaming today is disgusting.
But
Aside from
Oh no,
some
I
of the
agree
others.
with you there. I 100%. Look, our co-host, right? I'm going to shit at him for a little bit because he fell asleep and hasn't woken up yet, right?
Again.
He calls himself a pro mobile gamer, right? And the
God.
concept itself makes me gag. Sorry.
Oh no. And that's the way the world's going, Frosty. The mobile gaming, cash shops, predatory. How can we sell gambling to children? Blizzard. How do we get gambling into the children's?
It's
like on the
beautiful,
crib. We
isn't
got to
it?
get gambling on the carousel thing when they're a child. It's like, dude, welcome to Blizzard. Yeah, let's sexually harass some more people to suicide. Solid company.
Oh, that's
Anyway.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of
horrible,
companies,
dude.
I used to respect Blizzard. When StarCraft came out, StarCraft 2, I love StarCraft 2. And then I was like, Blizzard's a cool company. No. All the companies I once respected as a kid in terms of gaming, they're all evil now. Every single one of them.
Diablo
Right? Even
2.
Valve to a certain extent.
Diablo 2 remastered, outsourced. The only reason that port was even decent was because they outsourced it to a satellite studio.
You think 4
the
is
only
going to be
reason.
bad? Are you going to play 4? That's a good question.
I don't even acknowledge its goddamn existence. I don't even acknowledge its existence. 4 can go
Don't
to
you like
hell.
the
Wait, no,
Hoff?
Inferno, the new one that's coming out.
4? Yeah, I don't care. Who cares? What's 4? What's
You
Diablo
don't?
4?
Okay.
What is Diablo? I don't even know what it is.
But wait, I'm curious about one thing. Like you said, everything about Valheim like is great and whatever. But I mean, the reason I ask this is because I played a lot of similar games like it, and I looked at it like, oh, it's another one. You know what I mean, right? Like survival, open world,
Yeah,
and whatever stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's the difference? Like, why is it so better than the rest?
Well, Valheim, so it's like procedurally generated worlds. It's seed based. It has, it's just like it has a level of polish for like an indie game that most games don't have, and it does everything quite well. It does get a little monotonous, like there is no diversity in certain items. At a certain point in time, you're just kind of grinding for the sake of grinding. So it is a truly cooperative experience. It's something you'll probably want to play with good friends and be like invested in. It's not something you'll want to play by yourself because you'll reach a point probably around the third boss where you'll notice kind of like a pattern in how the evolution of your character works. But they do mix it up later on, like with like egg drag. Like you got to get some. I don't want to spoil there, but they do mix stuff up with boats and some interesting stuff. So it is worth sticking with, and it is a fun game to just to. I bought it day one, just watching one video. I'm like, I'm gonna buy this game, and I bought it. It's one of those like snap decisions I made, and it turned out to be like a really good game, and I'm so glad I did because I don't buy anything full price. I bought that game day one full price. Knew nothing about it. It was on the Steam front page sale, like first like, oh, today Valheim. I clicked on it. I watched a streamer play it for like 5 minutes. I'm like, looks good to me, and I bought it. And I don't do that with any game, and it really, it's a good game. Anyway, I think it's game of the year type material, to be honest, but it doesn't have the budget, and it's nice to see indie studios can compete with the overblown glamour games like Elden Ring, and I think it does compete in a lot of ways. I think it does compete with Elden Ring in a lot of ways.
All right. I think the Elden Ring copium has to stop. All right. No. I mean, you're entitled to your own opinion. I think Elden Ring is the best game ever made. I think Jesus Christ. Wait, I think the Second Coming is returned, and Jesus Christ came back to us as Elden Ring. Okay. I'm kidding, obviously.
Okay.
All right.
I actually believed you for a second there. Actually.
No.
What is
I
the
just
best
think
game
it's a
ever
judgment of
made? I have a
character.
Quake tattoo. Like I've got a Quake tattoo on my arm. So I mean, that's probably John Carmack is a living legend. And on top of that, John Carmack is one of the innovators of VR. Go figure. I'm at Small World.
Yeah.
Small World.
Best game ever made. What do you think about this?
I don't know. Maybe I'll try it.
The most fun I've had in the game is definitely not the best game ever made.
Yeah.
What?
Like the most fun I've ever had, I think, is when I was a kid playing Skyrim for the first time. That was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Well, like Skyrim is not a well-made game, so that's unfair.
I don't know, like what's the best game ever made, but because like every new kind of experience in the gaming sphere, you'll be like, oh my god, that was so amazing because it's new to you. Like VR chat, when I played, oh my god, this is fucking fantastic. But I'm like, oh, okay, VRChat. Same with World of Warcraft, same with Minecraft, same with whatever other game. So it's kind of hard to tell, but I mean, the first game that comes to my mind...
No, it's
VRChat's contender,
Yeah, the first game that comes to my
It's Portal
mind,
1.
I don't know. Minecraft, World of Warcraft, VRChat, not VRChat, what's it called? Wait, what? Oh, Witcher 3. Yeah, that's the thing. But I guess I'll try.
Portal 1.
I don't know. I played a lot of these games, so I don't know. I'll try Valheim maybe at some point in the future with friends. I don't know if I like it, but.
I do own Valheim. Never really got super into it. I never gave it that big of a shot. Survival games aren't really my kind of thing in general.
I love it, but I just X'd it. Yeah, I just X'd that whole genre, I guess, for a few years now.
Yeah.
It's worth trying for sure.
I just got bored of
probably
Ark,
get hooked.
right? And then I
Maybe,
just
yeah.
sort of signed off the survival games. Something about Ark Survive just bothers me. I don't know.
I
Nothing
think
wrong with
it's more
Ark.
progression
You can
than
enjoy
Ark.
Oh, okay,
I think
wait.
Ark's
Yeah,
better as a
that's
PvP
good.
game with friends.
Okay. Yeah, I'm more intrigued about Ark because I played Ark a few hours, a lot of the time, and
Dude, I can't, man.
Looks cool.
the AI feels janky. The flying dinosaurs always look kind of janky. Aside from
Is it
that, I
Ragnarok?
don't know.
The
No,
Ragnarok
not the
world's
new one. Not the
beautiful.
new one.
The
That's
Ragnarok
cool.
world's so beautiful, absolutely beautiful. There's like hidden temples, really cool. I actually got into Ark with one of my streamer friends. Like started picking it up, and it's actually I always like pushed it off. Like this is kind of a weird game, and actually when you get into it, it's a very nice game, especially when you're playing with friends. Very enjoyable, but it does get a little bit. It feels a little bit like too open-ended. Where I think Valheim's more focused. It's like you do this, you kill the boss. You get to
There's
the
like
end.
the bosses, right? Which is good.
Yeah. Ark is more of like a PvP experience. It's very more sandboxy, whereas Valheim is sandboxy, but it's more focused. So it gives you common goals and stuff.
Yeah.
As to whether those goals are worth it or not, I'm not sure.
Sandboxy things, because I tend to. I did play sort of Ark in multiplayer, but I didn't really participate that much in the multiplayer. I just sort of like built my own base and just sort of sat there for a little bit. Either way,
So the So the best game I've ever played, I mean, I have a Quake tattoo, which is like the innovation of FPS games and like three-dimensional, step into the three-dimensional world. But I think the best game I ever played, even to today, is Ultima Online. And it's an MMO. And it came out a long time ago.
Oh, is that the one they had to nerf the AI because the AI kept doing things like? Wait, no, they had like a great, was it like AI system where the animals and shit would actually, do what animals do, but then players like decimated it or something.
I think there was an article on that. It was basically, it's like RuneScape. I think it came out a year before RuneScape, and it was just like an open world. People got married in. It was like one of the first e-marriages like happened in that game. It was like an open world sandbox. I was a carpenter. I built like furniture for my house, and like I played with my friends. We all had our guild houses and stuff like that. And there's dragons, and there's PvP, and there's rare like wood and stuff, and like you're chopping wood. You get like a rare, so you build a rare bow. It just did everything like very proper from like a standpoint that but it's really old and the combat's outdated and it has a lot of macro, like everything was macroable. You could just go AFK and macro your skills up. So it wasn't perfect, but it was like a game that for its time was like way ahead of even a lot of the MMOs released today, way better. In Dark Age of Camelot, World of Warcraft is just a Dark Age of Camelot clone for anyone who knows anything about MMOs.
I don't think I played Ultima Online. The only MMOs that I seriously played is World of Warcraft, RuneScape, Aeon, Guild Wars, and 2, and Final Fantasy. Let's play the new one.
What is this only business? Every one of this is a full-time job. What the fuck?
No, look,
I think UO is similar to RuneScape.
Oh.
I played RuneScape, Guild Wars 2, Destiny 2, kind of, Warframe, kind of. You count those as MMOs? I don't know if I do.
No,
but yeah, it's just those. Nothing serious. No fancy MMOs.
Played
Okay.
It
Ultima
has
Online.
more players than Ultima Online does today. Okay. Sorry.
No, but
I mean,
not
that's
in
true.
one instance.
Probably.
Yeah. They do have raids though, and they are only 6-man, but good. Raids are good content. I like the raids. Go play Destiny raids if you haven't already. Great content. Great team.
Maybe that's like a
Destiny's a little not my cup of tea. But I played Ultima Online. I played Eve Online. Played World of Warcraft. I played Mortal Online 2. Played Mortal Online 1.
Eve Online. That's right.
I played Dark Age of Camelot. I don't know if I said that already. And I played like some stupid Marvel Heroes one or something. And I played Age of Conan. I played that back when it came out. I played quite a few of them. I played Aeon Online for like a little bit, which was terrible. Was a little bit too not Western for my. It looked like a World of Warcraft clone, just with like more Asian inspired.
That one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't tried that one.
Blade and Sword. I wanted to play that, but I don't know. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I guess I played L Sword and I played Maple Story. Like everyone's played the Maple Story. Do you count Elite Dangerous as an MMO?
How many people can be there in an instance?
There are no instances.
Probably.
Everyone's just
it's open world, but like it's like a dynamic server browser.
It's space though, yeah.
Yeah, EVE Online
it's a shard-based system where they are server, they're instances, but the instances can like flexibly meld. If that makes sense.
Oh, like Star Citizen. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, they did it before Star Citizen. Okay, yes.
Star Citizen. Oh, I'm a founder of Star Citizen. I have my founder card.
I would love for that game to come out.
I don't know if it's ever. Wasn't the single player campaign supposed to be released like 2 years ago?
So, yes.
242. Yeah.
What's up with that? 2021 or something?
Dude, okay, the game looks fun right now, even though we only have Sol system and Elite Dangerous has 400 billion star systems. We'll ignore that part. No, but they're all AI generated, so it's different. But I don't know. I just kind of want to wait for the game to come out fully and have all the content that it promises, or at the very least have the single player come out.
I don't like lifetime insurance. It's like pay to win. I got really upset when. Yeah. And I wish they would make that game without LTI and it'd just be a true sandbox, and that would be a good game. But I really can't get invested in a game that's going to give people who pay real money like huge benefits. Like it's just stupid. And the game to me is dead.
Is it like when your ships crash, you pay like 10% or some shit like that? You pay less money.
Yeah, LTI is like forever or something. Like you buy the ship. But the problem is like I don't want to be in a world where like I grief someone and all of a sudden it's like ha I paid to get to the front of the line. It's like imagine being like Disneyland where like some person like that's not in a wheelchair like all of a sudden it's like, oh, I got my special card, I'm gonna like I'm gonna cut in here. It's like no thank you. Like what am I doing with my time? Like I'm just gonna go elsewhere. I'll go to some like game that that makes sense. Because if it doesn't make sense, get me out of there.
Yeah, for the people that back the game initially, all the benefit to them to play the game, like they'll enjoy it. But for new people that's coming in and they'll be like, well, this fucking sucks.
Yeah, there definitely shouldn't be sort of like founder-specific unbalanced things, right? Or at the very least, it should be that you'd eventually be able to earn whatever it is that founders have.
If you talk to any Star Citizen fanboy, though, they'll tell you, "Oh, there's no pay to win. No, it's all like literally. I've been debated 1,000 times." And then as I'm debating them on Twitch, they'll like slowly admit, "Yeah, well, I mean, it's like that. That's the way it is." And it's like people are so pathetic. Like at least acknowledge like so many people like don't understand like just derivative like level like reasoning, and it's like, well, why? It's like I'm explaining something to you in a way which is like just fact. And you're going to go ahead and tell me, no, it's not. And then sit there and then, like 300 people on your Twitch stream look at you. And then like, you're going to slowly like kind of like get uncomfortable and then like have to go, well, it kind of is. And it's like, I've been in that debate with everyone. It's just obnoxious. These fanboys are the worst. If you're a fanboy, like monitor the words that are coming out of your mouth before you just say like utter shit. It's okay to not say anything. It's okay to just be like, yeah, I enjoy the game. That's fine. I'm fine with that. But don't tell me something, isn't that is. Like, I really like, it just drives me nuts. I'm like, well, you're lying. You're lying to people.
Being a
people are listening to you, you're lying to them.
And become a fan man.
Exactly.
Also, don't pre-order games. You know. Yep.
Unless you're on Steam.
That's why I'm gonna wait for Star Citizen to come out.
And on top of that, I really enjoy Star Citizen, but every time I went to play the game, I get like 45 minutes to an hour into the game. I'm like, oh, this is wonderful and magical, and look, the sun's coming through the canopy, and I'm spinning my ship, and you know, I just did a 20-minute jump, and then I'll just fall through the floor of my spaceship, and like I'm back at the base, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to travel for like an hour to just you know, crushing defeat over something I had no control over.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Sucks if it's still that buggy. God damn.
Yeah, it's just I could install it right now, and that's the exact same would happen. I guarantee it. And then the fanboys will be like, "Well, you got to put your game on an SSD. How fast is your SSD? Maybe the geometry's not loading before you." And it's like why are you even
They've
talking
had how
about it right
many
now?
years to develop this game?
How many? You would defend, you know, some sort of genocide if you could. You psycho, get away from me! Get away from me, you psychopath! Like, these people are nuts.
If only they
They've
developed
got a million
heat
devs,
here,
right?
right?
Like,
than
there's-
5.
they've got enough funding to be like a
Sweating over
AAA
here.
dev, right? I think.
Chris
what?
Roberts,
Oh, yeah.
I know some of the guys, like developers. I've got them on my Facebook, and they're all like really nice people and everything. But like, I just can't. Like, I can't endorse. Yeah, I just can't. I mean, it's cool, and I'm glad the game's doing cool things for space. But like, when you want to port your game to a pure sandbox server or allow like community modded servers, you know, sign me up. I'll be there for sure.
Yeah.
All that day, no
I'll
thank
play
you.
the single player when it comes out.
So, yeah,
fully.
yeah.
I don't know when that will be.
Yeah, that's
I'll play
definitely, I
single
think
player.
I'm going to play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be really cool.
Yeah.
The whatchamacallit? Oh yeah. I mean, we're gonna talk about 2 other games. I don't know. Did you play? Did you play Hogwarts Legacy, and did you play Atomic Hog by any chance, CRiMSOM?
I have not played either of those. The Hogwarts Legacy game looks interesting. I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, but my main issue with it is it's kind of I think it's like a questy game where you kind of like go on quests and do tasks. And it is open world, but I'm not someone who traditionally enjoys that style of game. I more prefer like, hey, this is the game, play it how you want to play it, or like, I don't like fetch quests. I don't like automatic little things that tell you where to walk. I don't really like that type of stuff. So
Oh, you don't
in a
like
sense,
Ubisoft
more Elden
games.
Ring-esque, but not. No, God, no. I think the only Ubisoft games I have are like Trials Evolved. I got like Rayman's. I got Trackmania, and the rest of the games I won't even touch. No.
Yeah.
I wasn't even aware Trackmania was Ubisoft. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Good game.
The old
yeah.
Okay.
I like their racing games. Ubisoft have good racing games. Yeah.
Well, okay. How about? I'm assuming you've seen gameplay and seen some reviews. What do you think about Hogwarts? From like, even though if you haven't played it, would you want to?
I think it's
try
cool
it?
for like. Personally, I won't try it, but I think it's like a cool, nice game for a certain type of, certain person or certain like group of people. I'm a little bit too old and jaded maybe for that type of stuff. But I do appreciate its existence. I'm not mad about it. I don't know what the J.K. Rowling thing is. Like, I mean, that's obviously that there's probably some pretty trash opinions on some stuff. I don't know whether boycotting is the answer. But I do know, like if you want to boycott a game, go for it. So you put your, like, for me, I hate Microsoft, so I try to buy as little Microsoft stuff as possible. That makes sense for me. But I understand people would want to play nice art, and like nice art is nice art. But yeah, I like the fact that it exists. I like the fact that it looks like the graphics are very nice. It looks like it has a very good atmosphere. I really big into atmosphere. I'm a big BioShock fan. So I like atmospheric games. So I appreciate that the game exists. I just don't like the fact that it has it has controller, like there's different like blades for your spells on PC. Can you imagine, like in my day when I was a kid, if you released a game that like the console version of it, like if they made Diablo 2, let's say, to be played with a controller, it wouldn't be the same game. Diablo 2 was made to be played with mouse and keyboard, to have like the F keys and bind your controls. Yeah. Hogwarts Legacy, you have like little like modifier keys to like switch your spells and stuff like that. Well, why wouldn't you, if it's a PC game, why wouldn't you make it for PC? And like all these games, you know, that's like the reason I play Diablo 3. Diablo 3 would be a good game if it was designed on console. It was designed for console. It's a good console game. Diablo 2 is still the best PC game. Diablo 2 is literally like, if you look at the button layout, it's designed for console. It's not, there's no other reason for the fact that it's designed for console. So if you're going to sell a game to me on PC that is designed for console, I can see that like UX design like a mile away. Like I can see all the stuff. Like I'm not stupid. I know exactly what the developers are doing. The game initially came out for PC. They had like the architecture in place because they were going to release it on all the consoles and make more money, because that's what Blizzard does. They're scum. And they, you know, cash shops and all that stuff. And I had like 4 versions. I had 4. I actually sold money on the stuff on the cash shop, and I made real money, and I bought like 4 more versions of the game, thinking I could farm it, but then the market became saturated, at which point I realized I was just losing to capitalism, and the game sucks, and I'm playing a bad game, and there's no reason for me to play the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't like that, you know. I really don't. I don't like it. So
yeah, that's fair.
So Hogwarts, yes, if you're a new gamer, like if you're introductory, intermediate level gamer, or like semi-enthused in the Harry Potter universe, go for it. Looks interesting. Looks fun. I've heard it's pretty okay in some ways, and I've heard it's kind of not great in others. So
yeah,
but not for me. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Frosty? You've seen me play it, and you've seen others play it. What do you think about it? You have a desire to play
Look,
it.
you know my opinion. you know my opinion on judging video games based on watching other people play. I don't do that. I think you have to experience the medium to form an opinion. In terms of wanting to play it, I grew up with Harry Potter. I read the books as a kid. I still think the universe is great. I know there are some issues with J.K. Rowling and sort of things she said. I would love to play it, but
yeah,
I'm sort of on the fence about purchasing it, and I'm unwilling to pirate anything because, you know,
yeah.
I feel like that's 100% morally wrong. Yeah.
Too old. You're too old to pirate games.
Yep, I'm too old to pirate games. That's true.
Pirating games is from like 12 years old to like, I don't know, 18 or 22 or something. After that, you're...
Yeah, I mean, you don't have enough money to buy the games and stuff. Yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean...
Well, the viruses...
All right, you've played through the whole game. You cheated as well. You go on.
I don't... Well, I mean... Okay, let's... but no. Look, I just want to point something. Like, even if you didn't play the game, you look at the game and you think, oh, I might like this, I may not. What were the things that you've seen that would make you want to purchase the game or not purchase it? That's a good phrasing for you to answer.
Oh, the world looks cool.
Is it Unreal Engine 5?
In-universe things.
I think so.
I don't know. I got no clue. It looks good though.
Yeah.
It does look good.
Flying looks fun. I've seen a lot of media about the Avocadabra. I like that the killing curse is the killing curse and it one-shots most enemies. In lore, I like that. Aside from that, yeah, it looks cool. It's a magic game set in Harry Potter universe. It seems like a cool game. That's about it. Like I got nothing.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I
look. I don't feel as strongly reference about the controller thing because I'll be playing the game on controller. I know it's for a PC game. It's on PC and it should have PC controls. But it doesn't bother me.
What? Okay. Question. Oh, I think it just escaped me. Oh, okay, move on. Sorry, I my brain's failing.
Okay. I mean, regarding the controls, like on PC, I checked it out a bit when I also played on controller. Played the game with a controller. But and the reason why I sometimes play with the controller is because I feel like I want to chill and like. But yeah, I checked out the keyboard and mouse controls for it. It's like if it was literally developed for PC, it would definitely have a different control scheme on PC. But it's alright. It's fun. It's doing its job. There's no issues with it. They could have done things better, of course, but yeah, it's fine. Aside from that, yes, I did play and finish the game, and just throwing this out there, is it worth it? Yes, I think it's worth it. You'll have a lot of quality content and a decent amount of content to kill your time playing it. Its story is nice, and there's a lot of like side stories that arguably are at least one of them is more interesting probably than the main story. and my only complaint with it is maybe the characters could have looked nicer, not the like NPCs, the main NPCs, but rather the player characters could have looked nicer. Aside from that, I enjoyed the spells. The gameplay was easy. But the most important thing about the game, honestly, for me was, like, from experiencing it, was just you're on a broom or you're on a griffin, exploring the world, looking at the beautiful visuals and like how the stairs and the magical worlds appear, and the castle and the interiors, and just the whole magic. They nailed Harry Potter, honestly, in this game. Like, this is the Harry Potter game. I don't think it's gonna get any better than that. Yeah.
Good atmosphere.
The game is piss easy on every difficulty setting aside from the hardest one. Like, I heard the game is piss easy on like normal.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I know. I played normal. Look, it's easy if you want to utilize everything, and like utilize it correctly. Otherwise, if you're just button mashing, it's not that easy. But if you know what you're doing, yeah, it's pretty easy.
Oh my god, that's.
But look,
if you don't click the shoot button in the shooter, the game's very hard.
No, that's not what I meant.
What did you think of the Zelda game?
Zelda game?
The Breath of the Wild. Were you guys a fan? Were you a fan of Breath of the Wild?
I didn't play it because I don't have a Switch. So
I played through it. Okay, so I enjoyed it while I was playing it, but I'll confess here, I never finished it.
Oh yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, no,
is it because the weapon durability was like painful?
Weapon durability was annoying. I didn't hate it that much, but it was annoying to have to always go back to get the weapons I wanted. And I think it's just a lot of like. So Frosty, imagine this. You know how you feel about Breath of the Wild? Yeah.
That's how I feel about Elden Ring. Just saying.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But also collecting the what's that called? The fucking Korok seeds. I have friends who've done that fucking twice. Like all 900 of them. Why? Why would you do that to yourself? God damn.
Sorry, I just had to.
I can't do completion shit like that, man.
Yeah. Oh, one annoying thing at the end is, like, so I finished the game, and then there's this final quest.
No, you didn't. You cheated.
No, yeah, I'm about to say that. I finished the game, but then there's this final quest. The final quest is basically just a cutscene. That's it. But and the thing is, you can't do this quest until you reach level 34. And I was level 28, I think.
Huh?
And
that's stupid.
Yeah, and I'm like, let me go try to level up. I went to like an arena thing to level up. I got half a level. Like, after, I don't know, 15 minutes, like, I don't want to do this. Okay, download this mod. Okay, XP boost times 100. One shot kill someone. I got level 40. I finished the cutscene and that's it.
Do you think the modders are gonna mod that Hogwarts game and make it like even better? Like, do you think they're working on some?
Visually,
I hope so. Yeah.
Visually, I don't think so. Like, it's pretty good looking right now. It's just icing on the top at this point if they want to improve the visuals. But maybe what they've seen, actually, from like the modding websites, there's a lot of like making characters looking more sexier, like butts, ass, tits, mini skirts, whatever.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Because that's what you care about.
No, I'm saying that's what I've seen. Like, that's a lot of mods.
I know.
Frosty showed us a couple modding mods for Dragon. What's it called? Monster Hunter. They were.
Monster Hunter. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Can we talk about this? Okay, we can talk about this. So I was on the Monster Hunter Monster Hunter World. So Nexus the other day, because I recently started playing again because friends from my Discord were starting playing. I'm like, oh cool, I'll log into the game again. So I was just looking at what weapon mods and stuff there were, and I swear to God, on the most popular in the last 30 days page, it was all just, we added penises to all the dragons, and they're really popular for some reason. They have physics. The game doesn't even normally have physics, but it has physics.
They
jiggle.
DPS?
It's horrifying. No.
It was something else. It was something else. I
they're all like intricately designed.
You'll get demonetized.
And they're like they're lore accurate sort of wyvern genitals. It's horrific.
That reminds me of a different game.
Don't sound excited.
You know, like a Morning Star. There was Frosty showed us one that looked like a Morning Star maze.
Morning Star, yeah.
Not ideal for any sort of mental imprint.
Very angry. Yeah.
There you have it, though.
Very angry indeed.
Hopefully they'll add some text to Hogwarts with some.
No.
When Guardian Levioding. But aside from that,
it's a game for kids. Can we not do that? Jesus.
Look, there's gonna be like it's gonna be added. At least nude mods. That's the minimum. But yeah.
Oh, I mean that's every game at this point.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah. Aside from that, is Atomic Heart. Did you see any gameplay about that, CRiMSOM?
It looks. I watched my buddy play it. It looks very atmospheric and interesting. But I've heard. Okay, here's the thing with Atomic Heart. Initially, when the game was released, it's like, oh, look, the ray tracing demo. Check the ray tracing out. It's got like amazing ray tracing, and it was like broadcasted as like a ray tracing, like designed for ray tracing. And sure enough, when the game comes out, it has no ray tracing. So I'm like, well,
what?
Yep, no ray tracing.
Like what's going on? Like I bought a 30 40 90. I got a 39. Like I've got like why can't I just use ray tracing? I want ray tracing. I want reflections. I want to see reflections on the floor.
I agree.
It's like, what happened? Were they I guess they're porting it to consoles or side developing it for consoles
for a reason. I want to see my reflection on the Chrome Twins face, right, with my realistic light bounces. All right, it's important.
Yeah, I paid good money for that video card. I want it to work with that. Why wouldn't the developers? Yeah, so I was a little peeved off.
I wonder if
it doesn't necessarily
on consoles.
Are they started developing it for consoles? That's probably why they did it. They're like, oh, we don't have the resources to go through and modify all the specular maps to be like reflective properly, especially during a pandemic. But like, it's designed for. I mean, it's like it was a showpiece for ray tracing. Where'd it go? That's a little upsetting, you know.
Maybe I guess with the
that's a DLSS 3.0. Not that it was.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not a deal breaker for me. It really isn't a deal breaker for me because the game looked pretty good. The game had it looked like it had a pretty good atmosphere. Everything looks pretty interesting. I've heard it's like, I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't really looked into it. I've been like just grinding maps and Valheim. So like
I really enjoyed it. So we've both finished it. I really enjoyed it. It felt, it's Russian BioShock. It's like Soviet BioShock basically.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out then.
It's good. I think there are some issues with the open world. There is like an overworld map where the balancing is not quite on spec, but you can like work around that for sure. I think the rest of it is in general pretty fun. Performance is great as well. For whatever reason, this Unreal game sort of came out with like no performance issues. There are a couple of settings issues. It doesn't have an FOV slider, and it defaults with a mouth smoothing on. So you can change the mouth smoothing setting by editing the engine.ini file.
Yeah.
They are patching in a FOV slider.
Oh.
So hopefully by the time you play it, they'll have an FOV slider and the smoothing will be turned off.
Who does mouth smoothing by default?
I don't know. It's a shooter.
Like, why would you do that?
It's a shooter.
Like what? Like why would you? That reminds me of the days when I played. Like you go back to Fortnite now. Like I like installed it like a couple of months ago just to see like is the game. What's the game like today? Is it good or is it not good? You go to Fortnite and it's like your mouse sensitivity is handled by a percentage slider from 1 to 100%, and you're like, oh my god, these people have never played. These people have never played a PC FPS in their life. And the amount of games, like even Overwatch when it first came out, it didn't have enough decimal places to even like to set your sensitivity to a point where you could actually be like pixel perfect. And it's like do you people not know what you're doing? Do you not like, was this designed for consoles? Like what is going on? And that's like the number one like telltale thing in an FPS. If they have mouse smoothing on, if their sensitivity slider doesn't have enough digits, like even Apex Legends to some degree has like it doesn't have quite enough resolution in the slider. Like that's like a huge like a warning sign. Like that's like a huge, because it doesn't take like a genius to like add another decimal spot for like an extra, it's just insane.
Mouth smoothing.
Yeah,
you have mouth smoothing on a PC on a shooter at all. I don't understand.
Yeah, wait till you get like touchscreen smoothing in the future. That's where we're going. Now, you know, we had PC games to console. In the future, it's going to be like the handheld people are going to have their own like swipe smoothing with like interpolation on it, and we're going to be sitting there with a mouse and keyboard, and it's going to feel like, you know, the end of days.
Yeah.
Like this is
There'll be like
terrible.
momentum. Like there'll be like mouse smooth.
Yeah, momentum.
where it's like
This is gonna
spinning a
that's
ball.
where we're going as a species,
Yeah.
and I'm afraid. I'm afraid for the future.
Yeah, like
Playing
you're going,
cars, nope.
All right,
Play
mobile
games
gamers,
on
just buy a PC.
touchscreens now.
Just like sell your kidneys, buy a PC, so we don't have to suffer. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
When I was a kid, we had IBM keyboards. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, when you're gonna move your camera, it's gonna be like
Oh my god. Motion blur. It's gonna be like
Yeah,
motion
yeah.
blur, and like, oh, look at the chromatic aberration. It's great.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, can't even. Looks like I'm
Oh,
on
speaking
drugs.
of motion blur, I had to explain to someone the other day, and this guy's like primarily PC gamer, but I don't know why, but he just didn't know why motion blur was bad. I'm like, no,
Oh
what
my
do you
God.
mean? You play on PC, you have a 3080, why do you have motion blur on? I don't understand.
okay,
Mine
look,
is so terrible.
you guys might hate me, but I like motion blur, and not in all games.
Fuck
In
you.
some games.
I agree.
You
I
use
mean,
a
a third-person
laptop,
game.
it's whatever.
Okay.
No.
I think motion blur in some games is fine.
No, look, the reason why I put motion blur is because even if I have 200 frames, I don't know, compared to on and off, I just, when it's off, I just see frames. And I kind of like it when I don't see frames. That's the only thing. And
You
sometimes,
wouldn't do it in an first-person shooter, though, would you?
the only shooter that did motion blur right, as far as I'm concerned, is Call of Duty.
Yeah, I don't. I got.
So yes, you would.
I think I'm against that. Yeah, I'm against it. I gotta be.
Look,
How about
I just have motion blur off on all games. I just don't have motion blur on. I don't care.
Motion blur and
500
FPS,
hertz monitor, no motion blur.
0.5
No
motion
anti-aliasing.
blur.
I don't even use anti-aliasing in FPS games because it increases the frame buffer latency.
Oh.
Okay, that's a little bit extreme, but okay. I guess if you're running at 4K, it doesn't matter. But yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like when PUBG had like anti-aliasing, you couldn't turn on. I think it was PUBG or something like that. Yeah, I forget what one is. But like,
Yeah.
there's some games that have it where you can't turn off the anti-aliasing, or the anti-aliasing is baked into it. Like the original Doom game, if you turn off the anti-aliasing in Doom, like all the graphics look funny and everything looks like kind of like weird and pixelated. I'm not sure why, but it has like some sort of like. That's one thing I've noticed. Like the blood looks all strange. Like it didn't look right. Like it needed some. It was like some post-processing effect that was put through like the anti-aliasing. It's like the channel that kept the game together. So yeah, I don't like anti-aliasing. I don't like DLSS. I don't like any of that stuff. Get rid of all that crap. Every DLSS game I've played is like it looks like I'm going like blurry mess. Looks like I'm in like a pastel painting. Like.
Speaking of DLSS, I love it personally,
Yes, yeah.
but when I turned it on in Atomic Heart, it was actually garbage. Like I usually go on performance because I put everything on ultra, so I want performance. So it's like I'd have nice visuals but high FPS, so you know it balances out. And it's fine in all games that I've tried it so far. Atomic Heart, everything's just like a
So
blur, pixelated mesh
context.
of what the fuck is happening.
You're playing at 2K, so 1440p, and you have it on performance mode. That's the contact.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just went
Yeah,
Darth Vader there for a second.
yeah.
But, so I think so the part of the reason I might not. I just want to just clarify here. Part of the reason I might not like DLSS is DLSS because some of the played might be using older profiles. So I'm just going to say that. But the games I've used playing DLSS, which is like Mortal Online 2, and I think there was another one. There's one or two other games I can't recall. But the DLSS implementation was really bad and blurry, and it was just made everything look like 720p except like smudgy, and I didn't like it. But there could be like a higher end DLSS that I don't know of and I haven't tried yet. That's good. I just haven't seen it yet. That's just to clarify. I haven't seen good
personally,
DLSS.
I do like DLSS, even though I don't need to have it on.
Darth
But
Vader
if there's an option, I'll crank all the settings to max, and I'll have DLSS on quality. Because that seems
say,
to be
Luke,
pretty
I'm not
good
your
for
father,
most of the games I've
Frosty?
played.
Oh,
Luke,
it's not. It went
Luke,
away.
I'm not your father.
Don't worry.
Almost.
The moment I said a Darth Vader thing, it went away. Oh no.
It's kind of
The Force is not with me. But yeah, DLSS is fine. I think the first time I turned on DLSS was in Control, and that was after the DLSS 2.0 update. So that was the big thing. But I still see artifacting, right? Especially for, I noticed this really in Cyberpunk and in Forza, where when you're driving really quickly, DLSS can't really figure out the ground for some reason. Like there's some weird artifacting on the shadows as well. But outside of those like minor things, I think in general DLSS on quality is pretty good if you're running at above 2K. Anything below quality, I wouldn't use DLSS, but that's just a personal thing.
Yeah.
I saw an article once.
Turn it off. It doesn't matter.
Stranding. What? Death
Also,
Stranding
frame
running
generation.
at like 240p or something. And they upscaled it to like 1080p.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, did you see that?
Dude, like, okay, if
Does it
you're
look
running
like
at
okay?
1080p, please do not use DLSS. It doesn't work. Okay, then again, if you're running at 1080p, you might need it. Also, Death Stranding is a great game. You should play it. It's beautiful. It's the first Strand type game. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Nah, I'm gonna try it at some point.
He really is still asleep. Oh my god.
The one deep sleep. Maybe he's like having a lucid dream. But no, I guess my final thoughts on Atomic Heart is I really enjoyed it. Like the characters, the animations, the boss fights are great. The world design, I'm saying the same praises as Hogwarts, probably even more in terms of world design and character design, as well as boss fights. Like those are definitely better. Aside from world design, maybe it's kind of equal, let's say. So yeah, that's better than Hogwarts. It's just beautiful. Yeah, it's just a beautiful game in terms of its world.
Okay,
world
I'm just
design.
gonna say some stuff. Okay. I disagree on the boss designs. The visual aesthetics of the bosses are really cool.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
They're not hard. They're not complicated. They're just tanky. That kind of
no.
sucks for bosses.
The interactions with the boss, the animations, their looks, how they move around, how they do a bunch of stuff.
If the solution to every boss is charged melee to the face and dodge
Like
to
Mega Man?
avoid attack.
It's like Mega Man. Sounds like Mega Man.
The designs are really cool though, and their unique attacks are really cool, but they're avoidable. So
No, yeah, but I know what you mean.
basically,
Like,
I want a white mechanic for every boss.
what I just mentioned, like animations, looks, how they interact with you, their attacks, whatever, all of that, it's amazing to me, and that's what I care about. I mean, yes, challenge does need a factor, like an Elden Ring or whatever, but yeah, they're not challenging. That's the only downside,
I just want a boss to make me think, man. That's all. Like, okay, I want a boss to make me think more than, shoot funny glowy part.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe I'm asking for a lot, but no. In general, the game's very fun. I love the moment-to-moment combat. I love the combat options you get and the many different weapons you get. Not that many. They cut back from, what was it, 36 or something to effectively 19 or 12 right now. They're still good weapons. They're all different and they have different effects.
Yeah.
The universe is cool. There are some issues with it being a Russian-funded game, but that's very minor for me.
Yeah. If you want to play it, play it. Same with Hogwarts.
Pro-Ukraine. Ukraine's great, but like, video game,
Look, any issue outside of the game, if you want to boycott it, yes, boycott it.
Get on
But
Game
if you want
Pass.
to, if you want to play it,
there we go.
if you want to play Atomic Heart, if you want to play Hogwarts, ignore the noise and just play them. Yeah. But
I think you gotta kind of look at it that way.
Yeah. And if somebody's giving you shit about it, just
dude, I wish
if it's a rando block.
But if I know if some people see Hogwarts on my Steam list, I'm gonna get yelled at.
Look. I have a friend that might yell at me for this, but I confront him a lot of the times, like for other stuff aside from game. But if he's like how dare you play Hogwarts or Atomic Heart, we're like, well, because I want to. And well, you don't like it, okay, that's you. Go drink milk or something.
That's a healthy way to approach things, honestly.
The criticism I have for the game is, aside from what you mentioned, like the technical stuff, is whatchamacallit, Oh, no fast travel in the world, and you can't zoom out all the way in the world map. So that's really annoying to me. Because I wanted to get like some
World map is
stuff.
hard to navigate. I agree.
Yeah, because like I wanted to get an unlock for a map, and then I have to like walk or like ride all the way back to a certain place to
I
get
have
stuff.
no criticism.
Oh,
The game locks you into a point of no return without telling you, and then you can't go back after the ending.
wait, when was this?
So do everything you have to before Atomic Heart.
Oh, and the last boss?
Oh.
Well, no, after the ending, there's no like post game. You can go and explore the world
Oh,
again. At least I didn't get
right,
that.
right.
And
Yeah, after-
the point of no return, right? I think you didn't do this. The point of no return is not communicated to you very, very firmly.
Yeah.
So, in case you're wondering, in case you're playing the game, don't head to the lighthouse. Not yet. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's always a lighthouse and there's always a city. Anyway, it's a BioShock game. It's literally just a BioShock game. It's great.
Yeah, and the last criticism
It looked very
is,
Bioshocky.
Yeah.
The ending felt like I liked the ending, but I was like, it feels like it needed another boss fight or another scene to finish it. It's like, wait, is that it? I mean, it's kind of, okay.
Dude,
Yeah.
the ending's DLC bait. The ending's just DLC bait, which is
Yeah.
fine because I would love to play a DLC. Please make the DLC.
I'm not
Okay.
I'm not gonna buy it because I don't feel like re-downloading it, but I'll definitely watch it on YouTube.
What is
but-
wrong with you? I will do a full playthrough of the game again. All right.
Again?
Melee only because we aren't pussies. No guns.
Yeah. Whatchamacallit is, I think that's it. Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, the only other point is when I was complaining, like, oh, I really want to use my weapon, like my ammo, bullet weapons, because I mean, it's an FPS, I want to shoot. But then you told me you have a lot of bullets. I'm like, wait, what? How? But then after I got through half of the game, like, oh, I have a shit ton of bullets as well. Like, oh, I can
Dude, no,
shoot.
the game just throws bullets at you at a certain point. Yeah.
Yeah, but Bioshock
game's
is
like-
not like
it's an
that,
FPS now.
especially on the harder difficulties. Bioshock, like your
Mm-hmm.
bullets are tough.
To be fair, we both played it on normal, so maybe on hard
Yeah.
difficulties, ammo conservation is more
Yeah.
important.
It might be
Oh.
it might be scaled for hard difficulty for bullet.
Speaking of
drops or whatever.
Bioshock, so it seems like it's all three Bioshocks in one. Because like there's the sky,
Mm-hmm.
there's the water, then there's normal. Okay. So
That's
that's
cool.
kind of interesting. But aside, like if I had to describe it, it's Bioshock meets. Wait, what's that other game? Fuck. Whatever.
Oh,
It's
I didn't
Bioshock
agree
plus
with this.
something else plus something else. I forgot.
You said it was Doom.
I mean, the music is.
Yeah.
They've got a new
Yeah,
Bioshock
yeah.
game coming out soon too. I think. Well, didn't they announce an
Oh.
open world Bioshock as being?
Wait, really? There's
Wait,
no
what? They released-
there's a new BioShock game?
Oh, I'm gonna
I think
look
an
this up after
open world
this.
Bioshock game is being in development. I'm
This
pretty sure.
This is
Yeah.
news. I fucking.
I mean, I
loved
might be
all of them.
imagining it,
Jesus.
but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there's a new Bioshock open world that's being developed, and I don't know when it's coming out. But
Yeah.
BioShock.
I mean, hell yeah, that would be
You-
interesting. I mean, an open world as
think
well,
so.
that would be interesting, yeah. Oh, I guess it's not a criticism, but more so
Being
like
able-
unfortunate. Like there is an open world segment to Atomic Heart, and I don't think it was fully utilized, like, right. It feels like you just go from one point to point E, then it becomes linear, like linear, open world just to travel, then go to a linear path again. Yeah, I think, yeah.
There is stuff to do in the open world. It's just
Yeah.
it's mostly to access other mini dungeons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess aside from that, any upcoming game you're excited about, CRiMSOM? Aside from
Oh,
Star
man.
Citizen?
I honestly, I don't think so. And I think with me now, it's more like these little like surprise indie games that come out of nowhere that really like inspire me, because I think like the corporatization of like, if you look at all the Marvel movies and stuff like that, like I'm not like I don't care anymore about I don't care about like what the majority want to play. I'm from a different era, and I want to play like more like rudimentary games that have like solid game mechanics. And a lot of people like Valheim, and a lot of people like, you know, the Binding of Isaacs and all these like Super Meat Boys and stuff when they come out. Like they're very good games. It's just you never know when to expect them, and you always got to hope like someone passionate with enough time and is not going to sink when they know life a video game. They got like a nice mom's basement they can stay in and develop their dream game and just do it. And if it takes them 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years, all that matters is they get it done to the best of their ability, and they have a social safety net where they can do and take risks, because society these days plays it safe, and it's disgusting with all this cell phone game bullshit. And that's kind of one of the proponents for UBI. People are like, oh, UBI, it's going to make us all like in the nanny state. No, you're going to get people literally doing, you know, it's not going to be a great life, like, but you're going to get like the basics taken care of, so you can work on passion projects. You can do big things. You can invest in like, you know, unreasonable amounts of time in your own insanity, and it's a wonderful thing. And I can't wait till more people. We get like the post World War II boom, where people had lots of money and lots of security, and they had lots of ability to just to do creative endeavor projects, and they weren't like sitting there giving money to their landlord who owns 50 houses and gets rich doing nothing. I mean, that's the world we need to create a world in which digital media and this is getting very preachy here, but like very like we need more risk takers. We need more people that are going to do, you know, just do things that are seemingly impossible to themselves. And I think once we get that, we'll get the Super Meat Boys back. I mean, there's a lot of games that come from just basement dwellers or people that are just kind of like, you know, grinding, like like just grinding away, like monotonously grinding, and they're doing it because that's what their goal is in life. That they want to do it, they want to make something magical, and you know, hopefully we're all better for their sacrifices. So
hell yeah. So Daisy 2.
So I'm Daisy. Oh god, Daisy. I actually really like Arma 3. Like Arma 3 was a really underrated
Arma 3's
game
good,
engine.
yeah.
I always associate Arma 3 with Half-Life 3. Like I like the engine, the way the game works, the scale of it. I mean, like I used to play a game called Breaking Point for Arma 3, which is like one of the most crazy. It's an open world sandbox, like military sim, where you find vehicles and you got your crew and you can hide things, and it was just a really unique organic experience. And the problem, I think, with Arma 3 is like no computers could run it because it's extremely single core intensive, and the scalability of the maps is up to like 128 players. So you'll be in big firefights, you'll be getting like, you know, 30 FPS. But I think with some of the faster CPUs, I think Arma 3 will be a more, or Arma 4 or whatever engine they make after that, hopefully has better multi-threading and maybe some better like technology there to help things be more efficient. But Arma 3 was a big one, so I'd say like when Arma 4 comes out, I'll be kind of very curious to see how that works, like how, because like I think like the engine is like a bullet drop, and you got bullet drop, you've got all this crazy stuff in an engine that you could, you know, ever want, and a lot of people just overlook it because it's just kind of, oh, it's a mil sim. No, but the engine's phenomenal. It's phenomenal technology there. Yeah, phenomenal. So yeah, that or racing games. I'm always into racing games. One of the games I play right now, nobody knows, but called MX Simulator. It's a motocross simulator game. I have like 2,000 or 3,000 hours in that. It's like realistic physics, very difficult, very hard, very high skill ceiling, and it takes you like months to years to even like be able to like to have any consistency at. And yeah, so like coming up, I don't do much console stuff, but I'm always down for like nice multiplayer games to play with your friends or enjoy with company. I'm not much of a single player person, so it's kind of difficult for me. But yeah, that's kind of where, if anything comes to mind, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for Arma 4. I guess it's called Breakpoint. It's basically people are calling it basically like the testing grounds for Arma 4. But yeah, definitely excited for Arma 4.
That's cool.
What about what about you, Frost? Any game you're interested in coming soon?
I mean, you know about the games I like.
More
Jedi Fallen Order 2, excited for that. Wild Heart, excited for that, because that's Monster Hunter, but weird. Wulong, sort of excited for that, because it's kind of a Neo 2 style-ish game. Yeah, pretty hyped for these new console releases. Look, I'll take it. I'm a single player man. It's whatever. I like multiplayer games too. I just really enjoy your Jedi Fallen Orders. Really enjoy your sort of God of War Ragnarok's. I'm excited for Horizon Zero Dawn Wild West to finally come to PC after 6 years, and I'm excited for God of War Ragnarok to eventually come to PC in 5 years.
Yeah,
And you told me that I should play Last of Us, right, on PC?
the first one. Yeah.
I gotta play that still. Apparently it's good.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I was
I've
a
not
huge
played it,
fan of Uncharted 2.
People keep telling me it's good.
Uncharted 2 is one of my favorite games, and I'd love for them to make an Uncharted 2 remaster. I think that'd be really cool. I think the story was very Indiana Jones-esque. It had like a lot of cool scenes. It had like, you know, the cute love interest and all that stuff, and it was just a really cool, like kind of a boys game, I guess, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Speaking of cool remasters, hey, can we Can we get more of that Dead Space remaster? Can we get that?
Would you really want 2 remastered? Because like, Dead Space 2 is kind of.
I know 2 is fine,
wasn't it? Was it a little bit of a slow burn?
People liked it, right? But
yeah, I found it was too samey.
I would love to see it with. Yeah, but I just want more. Basically, I just want more Dead Space.
Yeah.
So I guess that's fine for me. I would love ray tracing. I would love the cool lighting and the better sort of higher poly counts.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. Also, please, when you get to 3, just like make a new game. Okay, cool.
Make it.
Yeah, 3 was. But 3 was like it was like THQ level quality. Like if I was playing like some weird THQ game, which is not.
Yeah, I guess on my end.
Speaking of THQ, I can't believe they resurrected Saints Row's. Like the new Saints Row's is god awful. Not that the old ones were particularly good, but like, Jesus. Yeah,
I played like Saints Row 1, I think, and it was kind of cool because it had like physics stuff, and I was like, you know, physics based, like, you know, if you hit someone with a car, they do like the fun tumble, and they're like, you know, and it's kind of like I like the physics of it all. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And but Saints Row 2 got like comic book arcadey, and it was over the top, and it was interesting, but I don't think it had much staying power in a lot of ways. It was very
no. I played 3 and 4.
Very set based.
4 was just bad. 3 was okay-ish. But you know, none of these games, even though they're No, I love the purple dildo. But even though these games were GTA clones, they could never beat GTA, right? Same with, to a certain extent, even Cyberpunk. You can never you just can't outdo GTA at what they're doing, you know? Which sucks. Which, by the way, if GTA 6 comes out, I'll play that game probably.
Yeah, it looks good. You see the leaks for GTA 6?
The leaks, yeah.
There's a lot of cool technology going on there. There's a lot of like, you know, like a lot of interesting. It seems like they're trying to make it very modular, so like you can do like cool like RP stuff, and you can have all your like modularities there. It's which will be nice, because the only thing I think a lot keeping the GTA series alive today is the role playing community, and I think that's something that they should definitely not.
I've never looked into the role playing. I know it's a massive thing. I know like streamers do it and stuff. I've just never looked into it. But yeah. Like I've seen the leaks and it looks super cool. I kind of hope Rockstar stops being an asshole with the GTA Online stuff. But you know, they're making money. I guess they have to. Same with Red Dead Online. It is what it is.
Jedi Survivor.
Oh yeah.
Survivors.
Speaking of Red Dead. Yeah, this reminds me. Can game developers give you an option called "I've played video games before" and stop telling me how to shoot guns? Holy shit!
Oh my God. Tutorials should be banned.
I know how to shoot guns.
If I was supreme ruler of the world, tutorials would be illegal. It'd be illegal for you to
just like give me an option in the beginning of the game called "I know what I'm doing," and it will just ignore all the simple basic stuff like push R to reload.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially when it stops you in your tracks with like a gray screen. It's like ding. And you're like, oh, I can't move anymore. It's like kicking you in the balls.
I was trying to play Red Dead 2, and then it was like teaching me you have 6 bullets in your magazine. It's a revolver.
No.
And then you need to reload the gun. Press mouse 1 to fire. I think I know that. Holy shit. God damn. But yeah, I didn't get through the tutorial because I was pissed off.
Really? It's because I would never make it through, because like I've told people like the Red Dead 2 story is amazing and I gotta play it, and I got a nice video card and a nice TV to play it on, and like I've been like
I genuinely got bored of the tutorial. Yeah, like I think you could, like, if you tried really hard you could do it, but like just it was really frustrating having the game talk down to me and be like, Use cover to avoid getting shot. Press the F button to grab this object off the ground. Oh my god. Sorry. It's just
If you're
me
like
complaining
sufficiently
like a
baked,
dickhead.
though, maybe like the tutorial wouldn't be as monotonous because you wouldn't even understand what's going on.
Yeah.
So I feel like that might be required, but yeah.
I didn't play it. I did, however, try the multiplayer immediately with my friend once it was on sale. We bought it, we tried it, and we got like, I don't know, like 2 hours of cutscenes or tutorials, and we're like, when are we gonna play with each other? Then we finally met with each other, and at that point we're like, ugh, we're tired. Uninstall, refund.
With the multiplayer?
Oh no.
The
There's
multiplayer?
you can buy the multiplayer only, yeah.
Oh man.
This is
and we-
tutorial? The multiplayer? Why?
We thought there was just gonna be like deathmatch or conquest or whatever, but no, there's like a story
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like missions and what?
Oh my god.
I just want to play with my
that's
friend and
so
shoot horses.
See, you guys know why I like Valheim now. Valheim is like you're in the game and a little bird tells you what to do, and if you don't want to talk to the little bird, you walk away from the goddamn thing. You walk away, you just turn
It's a
around
game
and
that
you be like,
respects
goodbye,
your time.
bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it respects my time. I got stuff to do. Like I do stuff. I can't be like sitting there looking at. I can't be getting stun locked by like game menus all the time. It's like bing, I can't move. Bing,
Yeah.
can't move. Like just stop.
This is
just
how you
stop.
shoot a gun.
Yeah, it just feels like I'm getting like absolutely like.
Oh wait. I just remembered Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. The tutorial and it was amazing because it was making fun of that. While I was like, press jump to jump.
Oh really? That's cool.
Yeah, but no, aside, so
I
yeah,
never played
Dragon's
Blood
right.
Dragon. I played 3.
play Blood Dragon. It's fun. It's
Never
fun.
played Blood Dragon. Maybe I should.
Kinda dead brain. But
Once I got to the
still fun.
stealth missions. Once I got to the forced stealth missions in 3, I had to stop. Like I can't do forced stealth missions in a Far Cry game. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like I was just whoever designed that, like you just fire that person. There's no what am I stealth forcing me to stealth?
That's
like,
true,
come on.
actually, yeah.
Come on.
I agree. Like, I think
Yeah.
in certain games, like in that's not true though, because even in Metal Gear, like especially the new ones that Kojimbo made, there are no false stealth. It's just
don't force
heavily
you.
incentivized. Yeah, you can get found, you just shoot everyone. It's fine. But
Yeah.
I
That's the
agree.
thing.
I
Is like
agree.
core root mechanics that make sense. Don't be like, oh no, you're spotted now. That's like one of the Call of Duty games did that. It's like you got to be like behind the buoy, and then the second you're outside, you die. And it's like, it kind of makes sense, but it kind of doesn't make sense. Maybe not to the same extent, but like like forced cover and all that.
Yeah.
I don't remember
but
which
yeah.
game it was, but I think I was watching either you or one of our other friends play, or a greenhead friend play this game, where it was a stealth section, and they kept it was you. It was Days Gone.
Days. Oh
Not
yeah.
Days Gone.
No, yeah, Days
The
Gone.
zombie one.
Yeah, Days Gone.
Zombie. Yeah. Where you kept getting reset for like hours, dude.
Oh, with the guy. Yeah. That was following a guy.
Dude, I was there watching you play on Discord, and I was having a conversation, watching other things. I look back at your screen every couple hours, and it would just be the same thing. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah. Yeah, like following a guy, then I'd follow him, then the zombies would come like, and it's failed, and I go, what? I'm following him. You're telling me to follow him, then whatever.
Oh yeah, I hate that.
Yeah. No, fuck full stealth sections. I agree. Yeah. At the very least, if I fail the stealth check, just make it harder. Just make the enemies almost one-shot me. Then I can work around that. That's fine.
Then you can roll left.
Don't mind if you punish me. Just don't instant fail me, because that's dumb. All right,
But yeah,
cool.
look, yeah. I'm just gonna mention this quickly. One game I'm looking forward to is Jedi Survivors thing, because I played the first one, I enjoyed it, and this one looks interesting. Maybe, hopefully, it's good. But yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of Star Wars, yeah, I'm gonna watch.
Did he wake up?
Did he wake? Did he? Like now? Oh, he
You might
disconnected
have
from
woken up.
Discord.
But yeah, speaking of Star Wars.
Yeah.
You've never seen any of it. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I did, but I probably forgot, and I'm not sure if I watched all of it. So I'm like, it's literally I was watching it when I was a wee lad, so I don't remember much. But yeah, okay. We've been we're doing
I
this
remember
long
watching
enough.
Star Wars when I was a kid. Good show.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
yeah, that
we-
was the
we-
pod.
okay.
That was the podcast. This is CRiMSOM. He made this beautiful world, and he's trying to live off
Yeah,
it.
please
so go
check
to his
out King Crimson.
Patreon.
Great world.
He has a Patreon to make this world better.
Oh yes, go to his Patreon.
Yeah.
There's advertisements available on the map if you want to
Yeah.
some ethical advertisement spots if you do some reasonable stuff. And yeah, I appreciate any support I get. And I thank you, Freak, for having me on. Thank you for supporting me, and I appreciate everything.
There's gonna
It was
be a
fun.
link to
I'll
his
do this again if
Patreon
you
Alright.
in the description. Okay, bye everyone. Bye.
Bye bye. Also, please sponsor us Heinz Ketchup. I don't know why, but please give me free ketchup.
Heinz Ketchup.